Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon or good morning, depending where you are in the world. Because David Shear's here, so I know it's David's morning. For a lot of us here that I can see, it's our evening, and I'm not sure whether we've got any Americans here in a moment, so I can't say. Well, I'll still say good afternoon to them anyway. Welcome to the Mop Up show on Thursday night, where we talk a little bit of football. We take questions. We have a bit of light-hearted fun towards the end of the week, and with me, I have Chris from Meta Football TV, and I've got
Hi.
Adrian from Spurs Diehards Tottenham Till I Die. How are you, gentlemen?
I'm well. Adrian, go for it.
I'm very well, thank you. I'm pleased with tonight's result. Chelsea actually, not that I've got any love for Chelsea, but it helps us, doesn't it? Keeps us 9 points in front of them. We're not going to lose 3 more games out of 8. No way. So I think that result virtually assures us Champions League next year.
Yep. I'm very well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Nice to see you again, Adrian and Jose.
Nice to see you again, Chris.
Once again.
I'm trying. If my thing updates, I thought they were 8 points behind us, Adrian.
They're 9.
Are they 9?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were 8.
We got 57, and we both paid 30.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I thought they were 8 for some. I don't know why. I had 8.
Yeah. The intriguing thing is, then you've got to go down to goal difference. The intriguing thing is that Chelsea win. You know, that puts them. If they win their game in hand, they got 2 games in hand, and what's that? I mean, you could see Chelsea in the conference next year.
But they
might even sneak a Europa League. So
they need it because of FFP. They would need to. Well, some form of European football would help them out. I would have thought.
Yeah, that's only going to help them out partly with their revenue stream, though. I mean, it's like us. You want to talk about the financial report or not? I mean,
no. What I was going to do is let me just welcome people in first because we've gone. We're starting to talk to each other. So let me say hello to everyone first. I have Adrian on the screen, who obviously was in here earlier and telling me that we were 68 minutes. It was 2-3. Chris Peters must have read your message in WhatsApp, Chris, because he's saying what a disaster. So good evening, Chris. We have Kels. Good evening, Kels. How are you? I hope you're well. We also have Chris Meta Football TV, who joined earlier as well. You have Andy LUFC Till I Die. Good evening, Andy. I hope you're well. I know that you was over at Jess's. We have Stu. Big up, Jose. I hope you're well. And I'm sure you've got James, a Tottenham fan, saying big up to me. Big up, mate. Got Jesse from Jesse Talks Football Channel. It's lovely to have Jesse here. Adrian's reminding people, if you love Spurs and hate Arsenal, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. So we got to the 20 likes. I started the show on the 20 likes, or it was going to be the Chelsea game finishing. And I think I think we was just about to start, and then someone said it was 3-1, and just about as we start, someone said it was gone 4-3, but we'd got the 20 likes by then. And then we were reminding people it was 8 minutes left at the bridge. We have Mr. Shear. Good morning, David. I hope you're well, sir. I hope you're well. And it was 5:10 in the morning. It's now 5:26 in the morning for him. Who else have we got? We've got Graham. Hi, Graham. Saying hi, Chris. Hope you're well, mate.
Right.
And saying good day to David Shear. And this is what I'm saying. It was 3-3 Adrian put in. Then he's put in 4-3. And I had to ask Chris. I said, Chris, they scored a 4th goal because Adrian's said 4-3. Then you've got Danny Rumsey. Good evening, Danny. I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're well. I've asked people to get questions ready, and I've only got one from Ellie that she put in earlier, which we'll answer. You've got Ryan G. Good evening, Ryan, saying proper fucking Chelsea.
Ryan.
And then you've got Mia W's here. Good evening, Mia. I hope you're well. Hope you're well, Mia. You've got Colin Blackshaw. Good evening, Colin. How are you, sir? I hope you're well. And you've got Stacey, the mum overlord. Up. Hi, Stacey. How are you? I hope you're well.
Stacey.
Have we got anyone? Audio Artisan. Evening, chaps in the chat. Good evening, Audio. Good evening, Lee. How are you, Lee? I hope you're well. when's Man of Solomon returns? Well, I'll answer that in a second. Let me say hello, everyone, and I'll start that, and I'll answer that as best I can in a second. Who else we got? I think we might have that. Yeah, and then we've got thingy here. Right. So, just going to answer quickly the one from this chap saying when's Man of Solomon returns. When I looked at the Premiership injury list, so it's what comes out from the Premiership, not from anywhere else, but the Premiership. It did say that the earliest return date for Man of Solomon was the 6th of April, and that's this Saturday. But I don't know whether he's been training this week. Do you know, Adrian, has he been training at all this week?
Well, I don't know where the Premier League got their information from. The last piece of information I got, if it's correct, was that he had another minor operation on the meniscus in his knee, and we won't see him this season. I don't expect to see him this season anyway. And if he is, let him recover. If he was due back, let him recover properly.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm getting to. Yeah, that's what I've got that as well.
What, the 6th of April?
No.
Season ending.
No, it's apparently still not anywhere near rejoining the group, according to Ange Postecoglou, revealed last month. But then that was a day ago. It was posted a day ago, so it was a minor injury, meniscus, as Adrian said. I wouldn't even go anywhere near that because a meniscus, you need a month. You need a month at least for a meniscus. So
so he had
he had that long already. I wouldn't even go anywhere near coming back.
So he had a further. I'm looking at the list at the moment, right? And it says Ryan Sessegmon's out to the 3rd of June. Fraser Forster, it says his earliest return date or potential return date is the 27th of April. And then it says Manor Solomon on February the 9th. Manor had to have a further procedure on his knee, and it's now saying that he's currently being assessed, and his potential return date is now the 13th of April. It's saying there, and then it's now saying that Brennan Johnson is currently being assessed for Sunday's game, and he's 50% at the moment.
Was that his back? It was his back. He seemed to be, when he went over, he seemed to hurt his back, didn't he, in that game? And then he got subbed because he was holding his back, or maybe it's his hip or something like that, you know?
Yeah. So I hope that answers the question for you there. I don't know what your name is because you've got a funny squiggle there, but I hope that answers it for you. Let me see if we've got any more in here because we've got some questions. I'm going to start them now. Tequila's here. Look at that. Good evening, Tequila. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. You've got Destiny 5 saying good evening to us as well.
Good evening.
Tequila saying he loves to see United dropping points. Right. So, questions that I've got so far. I've only got 2 starred, so if people want to get questions in, they can. And I'm going to put this to the panel first. Right, so I'll put it to Adrian and then to Chris, and then I'll answer after. So, Jose, my question is, if you can choose 3 players of all time that you would have loved to see in a Spurs shirt, who would they be and why?
Living or dead players, yeah?
I suppose so, yeah. It says it says who would you have loved to see.
First one's living, Glenn Hoddle, the best player England have ever produced.
No, but he's already played. He's already played in the Spurs shirt. I think she's referring to people. Look, if you could choose 3 players of all time that you would have loved to see in a Spurs shirt. So it's non-Spurs players.
Pele, Maradona, and Johan Cruyff.
Yep.
And why?
Pele, what did he get? 1,100 goals in 1,400 games or something. Cruyff, well, as a manager and as a player, I mean, he was superb. That Ajax side with knee skins and repping it. I mean, that was something special. And the total football he learned, and actually it was a Spurs manager who gave Cruyff, when he was manager of Ajax, his debut in 1964. All right. Maradona, all right, everyone hates him for the hand of God, but what a player. He just seemed to have a centre of gravity that was in tune with the centre of this planet, right? I mean, and his movement. It's his short acceleration burst, you know. Like, he was just fantastic. You know, I could have picked others, but...
Okay, so Chris, you give me 3 for you, mate.
I coincide in one because he's my idol, Johan Cruyff. Changed football from a football standpoint and from a managerial standpoint, in my opinion, because he took Rinus Mikkel's football and he did what Guardiola did to his football, changed it, amalgamated it. He did the whole works, improved it slightly, or whatever he did to it. But football, it was just amazing, just like a swan. He just glided and did all this stuff. Amazing. Ronaldo, the real one, not the other one.
The Ronaldo that played with Rivaldo at Barcelona.
Yeah, R9. Yeah, R9. The original R9.
That actual
that
Ronaldo.
Team was something else. Go on, Karen.
The 96, 97 Ronaldo. That one. And they didn't coincide. He was signed. He went to Inter Milan, and then Rivaldo was signed from Deportivo for 4,000 million pesetas. After he was signed after, yeah. But yeah, you're talking about the same one, yeah. Ronaldo Nazario, if you want to call him that. And the third player would probably have to be George Best, because George Best was just simply wonderful. So those three for me.
So it doesn't kind of leave much room to manoeuvre for me, because the players that I would have selected have already gone. So now I'm going to have to start thinking elsewhere.
Yeah, but you're boss. You can say 6 if you want.
No, I'm going to say different ones. I'm going to go Michel Platini.
Yeah, right.
To have played in our midfield. I think he was a silky player, so I might have to go for Platini. Love him or loathe him, I'm going to have to go Thierry Henry.
He's brilliant though.
He's a brilliant player, Thierry Henry. And I'm also going to go for Gianfranco Zola. So I'm picking Premiership years. I'm going to go for Gianfranco Zola. I think all three of them.
Players were left out: Klinsmann, Van Basten.
Yeah, Van Basten was another one.
Klinsmann played for Tottenham.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah, but he also played for Milan, didn't he? And
Batistuta would have been another one.
But in the chat, looking in the chat, because everyone's had a go in the chat, which I'm really happy about. So who we got first up? So Ryan G's gone for Lionel Messi, Diego Maradona, and R9.
No, Maradona would have been on the bench, Ryan. Sorry, mate.
So two of the ones that are covered. You've got Pele, Messi, and Jordan Henderson would be tequilas free.
Give over. Well, yeah, but he would have held that midfield pretty well.
You've got Graham says Pele, Messi, and my uncle.
Who's your uncle? Who's his uncle?
You need to tell him who your uncle is, Graham.
Who's your uncle, Graham?
Destiny 5 is going for R9, Rivaldo, and Ronaldinho. He's gone Barca trio.
He's gone hat-trick, isn't it?
Yeah. Audio's gone the original R9, Hadji, and Tissier.
Georgia Hadji, amazing.
Yeah, and no one's picked Ferenc Puskas out, who scored 618 goals in 619 games, 84 for Hungary in 85 games, and he even changed nationality, and he got a few caps for Spain when he was part of that famous front three of Gento, Di Stefano, Gento, and Puskas was the famous front three, because when the European Cup began in 1955, to annoy Chris, who's a Barcelona fan.
No.
They won it. They won it 5 times.
I know the truth. The truth doesn't hurt me, mate.
Okay, fine. So Real Madrid ran it the first 5 times. That was when it was like European Cup.
Yeah, terracotta cups. Yeah.
Ronnie's players are.
Sorry,
just for some of the people, just in case we've got people joining us that haven't answered yet. The first question that we've been asked, we've only got 2 questions so far, is if you can choose 3 players of all time that you would have loved to see in a Spurs shirt, who would the 3 be and why? Same question can be answered if you support another side, pick 3 players that you would have had. So 3 players you would have loved to have in the Leeds shirt, 3 players that you'd love to have in a Wolves shirt, and if we've got any other supporters from any other teams, just tell us the 3 players you would have liked to have had wearing your shirts. because at the end of the day, she's been specific about Tottenham, but we've got people here that support other teams as well. So tell us who you would like to in your colours. 3 players, anyone of all time that you would have loved to have seen in your colours.
Or sorry, Jose. And
Right.
or if you're doing that as well with teams, if you're here from another nationality, if you'd like to see, like for example, I don't know, another nationality play for your national team, that would be interesting as well, because that spices it up a little bit as well. Because that would be interesting as well. Because I would have loved to see Hadji play for, or Stoichkov play for, I don't know, Romania as well, along with Hadji. That would, or vice versa. That would be,
or Gerdmuller.
Amazing.
Gerdmuller, another one.
So Ellie, what you've done is you've asked us a question, and Adrian wants to have 56 goes at it, and not 3.
Adrian, stop it, Adrian.
Right, so Ronnie's gone for Ronaldinho, Maradona, and Zidane.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see if anyone else has got right. Tequila's saying Bergkamp, but he's only picked one player because I think he played some others.
No, I think he said something else as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
someone else.
He said Henderson, didn't he? And so leave out Henderson for Bergkamp.
In midfield.
Smithy saying hello to everyone. Evening, Smithy. Ben, evening. Good evening, Ben. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. Danny said that his 3 would have been Messi, Bobby Charlton, and Lothar Matthäus.
Yeah, he played some games with Germany, didn't he, Matthäus?
And then Stu from Disabled Team has come in with George Best, Bergkamp, and Bremner.
Bergkamp, all brilliant.
Didn't Bremner play for Leeds?
Yes. He was captain.
Rory Bremner?
I know, because Stu, you're going to give us. It has to be a non-Leeds player, I think, mate. If you're going to talk for the Leeds colours, you're going for George Best, Bergkamp, and one other mate. Yeah.
Andreas Bremner.
It's Ryan G saying Puskás was way past his time. Grant saying my uncle only played local footy, but was sensational. Had options to play at a high level, but stayed loyal to our local team. That's why he's putting his uncle there.
Thank you for that.
Smithy is just. Yeah, he's on another planet, isn't he? I think the drugs are affecting Smithy. Sergio Aurier, Musa Sissoko, and Callum Davenport.
Sort it out.
Yeah, you lift at Nkudu, NG, and Gary Riley.
James, a Tottenham fan, saying it's hard for me. You only got to pick 3. Stu, I got what you said, Billy Bremner, but it's got to be 3 players that haven't worn your colours that you would have liked to have worn your colours. You've given us 2, but Bremner already wore the Leeds colours. So give us a 3rd player that hasn't worn your colours that you would have had. So at the moment, you went for George Best. Who was the second one? George Best, Bergkamp. And your 3rd one has to be a non-Leeds player. Because
like
it's
Van
someone
Basten, for example.
Yeah, someone that you would have wanted. Mia is going for Pele, David Beckham, and R9.
Yeah, brilliant, Mia. Well done.
Stu said he would have had Klinsmann.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So that's fair enough. He would have had Klinsmann.
Yeah. Klinsmann up top with Yeboah. Bloody hell.
And we've got good evening to Johnny Bethnal Green. Johnny Sanchez Bethnal Green, to be known better still. We're on a question, Johnny. If you want to answer it, I don't know if you want to have a go at it, but the question was 3 players. If you could choose 3 players of all time that you would love to see in a Spurs shot, because you obviously support Spurs, who would the 3 be and why for you? So, yeah, so we've got quite a few answers there from even the different supporters from different clubs. Jordan is going for R9. 2 other players that you would have loved to seen in a Liverpool shirt of any time of any era, Jordan. Who are the other 2? One, you're going with R9. Who would your other 2 be that you would have gone with? And we have definitely said quite a few players. We've gone right through quite a few players, haven't we? David Shear is saying that he'd go for Kjell, Viduka, and Timmy Cahill.
The Aussies,
the Aussie attitude. So he'd go for all 3 of them to wear a Tottenham shirt, and 2 of them were from Leeds, and 1 was Everton. So
I'm surprised the Liverpool fan didn't pick Dalglish and Keegan.
Yeah, but they played for Liverpool, didn't they? You can't pick players that have played for your club. It's got to be three non-players. So Jordan is a Liverpool fan. He's going for R9, and he's gone Ronaldinho, and he needs a third one. And David Shear's coming in with 4 players. He's going with Johnston as well. He's gone with Johnston as well. So David Shear wanted 4 players. He didn't want 3. He's a bit like Adrian, David, isn't he? He just, you know, he hasn't got to the 56 players that Adrian did, but he's got to 4 of them so far.
Got another 52 to get.
Yeah. Right. So with that question being done, the next, and he says he'll go Frank Lampard as his 3rd player. So at Liverpool, they're the 3 players that he would have liked to wear a Liverpool shirt. Right. Question number 2 we've got, and we'll answer the questions as they come in, and if they don't, then we can start talking some general football stuff. But right. So the next one, Graham's always got them. Graham must have them all written in a book somewhere, because the next 3 are all from Graham. Right. Keep, bench, and sell. A roast dinner, a fry up, or fish and chips.
God, Jesus.
It's quite easy for me.
Yeah, me.
Well, the roast dinner is the most expensive, so I'd sell that.
Go on, you're going first, Chris. Go on in.
No, because it just makes sense to me that a roast dinner is more expensive. So I'd sell that to have a few.
I was going to go more for taste myself, but you know,
yeah, but I'm looking at it because I'm skint. So roast dinner, I'll sell that because I need a bit of bob in my pocket. I'll bench a fry up because that's too much cholesterol, and I'll keep the fish and chips. Thanks. Sorry, Adrian, I butted in there.
Go
on, Adrian. What are you going for?
I could eat a roast dinner every day. Seriously.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm keeping that. Fry up and fish and chips. I think I'll bench the fish and chips, bench the fry up, and send the fish and chips with some lasagna to West Ham.
Ooh, I think we're all going different here.
All 3 You've got another option. Different. You've given this man too many options.
No. You said it one way. Adrian said it another. I differ slightly with Adrian. So I would
lasagna in there as well.
Yeah, I'd keep.
That's the gag.
I'd have the roast dinner, because out of them 3, roast dinner is my favourite out of them 3. And my next second favourite to that would be good old fish and chips. And I'd have to sell the fry up. I'm not. If you offered me the 3 to eat, I'm eating them in that order. So yeah, the fry up.
You English and your fish and chips.
Yeah, so I'm going down that route with me. But what we got from the people here? Right, people have answered it, because I saw people answering it.
Right, good question as well.
I have got. Gosh, catching up with chat. It's further down. I'm trying to go back up to the questions, and therefore it's further down. So, first person to come in was Mia, and she said she'd keep the fry up, she'd bench the fish and chips, and sell the roast.
Yeah.
So that's a different way to what we've all gone as well.
Yeah.
Smithy is keeping the fry up, benching the fish and chips, and selling the roast dinner. So him and Mia,
same as me.
Him and Mia must be in the same room together, because they've both got the answer spot on. So
they got their delivery in just now.
Yeah. The disabled team has gone to keep the roast dinner, bench the fry up, and sell the fish and chips. I think that's what you said, Adrian.
Yeah, but Stuart hasn't got the lasagna option in there.
And Graham's gone exactly the same way as Stu and Adrian.
All right.
And Ben has gone the same way as you guys as well.
Keep the roast, bench, fry up, so same as Adrian, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Ryan G has gone different to all of us, I think. He's gone keep the fry up, bench the roast dinner, sell the fish and chips.
These northerners are so strange, aren't they? These northerners.
Well, Johnny's from the south, and Johnny's keeping the fry up. I know he's benching the fry up. He's keeping the fish and chips and sodding the roast. So he's
not selling them. He's sodding them.
Is that what you did? Did you say keep the fish and chips, Chris, or did you say keep the fry up?
No, fish and chips for me.
He's Bethnal Green. He's probably pie mash and jelly dilled, man.
So Johnny's gone the same way as Chris, then, isn't he?
No, he hasn't. No, because
you said you were keeping.
Oh yeah.
He's gone the same as you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
he's gone the same as you. James has gone. We're keeping the roast dinner, benching the fry up, selling the fish and chips. That's the same as Adrian.
Yeah.
Daniel E is going keep fish and chips, bench the fry up, sell the roast dinner.
Yes, go on.
It must be something to do with the young'uns. The young'uns seem to be going down the same route together.
Thank you for young. I appreciate that.
Stu says, I live in Bradford. Our fish are awful. In fact, they still wink at you. Superb. Ryan says, am I classed as Northern? Are you further up from Watford, Ryan? If you are, then you are classed as Northern, son.
Yeah.
And then
you're past the demilitarised zone, you're north.
I like you too, Stu. I know you know I love you, man.
Yeah. He said it's a good job. Oh, yeah. Right.
It's a good job, I like you.
Sorry, that's made me laugh. And Ryan's saying, definitely Northern then.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then Spurs GCTV saying, I don't get this North and South divide. There is no East and West.
There is. Count the fingers on one hand. You know where you're from.
It's your favourite pub game, Chris.
Wow. Oh, I don't know any. I don't drink.
Did you ever go to the pub when you were younger?
Yeah, cool. I got smashed. Of course I did.
Okay, so what was your favourite pub game?
Putting the birds. There you go.
Okay, so that was your pub game. What was yours, Adrian?
Pool. I was in the pool team.
Yeah, snooker, pool. Yeah. No.
Okay, so mine were pool and darts. I represented London under-19s at both, and that all came from being in pubs when I shouldn't have been in pubs. I'm actually taking part in a pool/dart competition on May the 10th in the city. I'm going to take part in the competition on May the 10th in the city, which I'm looking forward to. And it's both pool and darts on the same night. There's a tournament of each one on the same night. So I'm going to go and be playing that. But yeah, I enjoy pool and I enjoy darts, playing darts. I used to play darts where I used to get on my knees, one knee on the hockey and throw me darts. I used to take the piss. Pool, I can play left-handed or right-handed. So yeah. What's his name? Ronnie O'Sullivan is younger than me, so I'm going to say that I did that before him. Probably not to his ability though, but I'm going to say that I did that before him. And so that's that. What was people in here saying? I know that people are talking about convicts and all sorts at the moment. Right. You've got Lisa saying hide the sausage in the ladies' toilets.
Everyone's favourite party game, isn't it? Hide the sausage.
Yeah, Smithy's been let loose, isn't he?
I think he's been spending time with Mia online.
Right, Spurs GCTV saying Skittles. Is that bar billiards? Skittles. Oh no, Skittles. Oh, the bowling thing, Skittles. Yeah. Good evening, Nita. Nita saying pinball machine and a pool table. Good evening, Nita. I hope you're well. David Shear is saying can't beat you convicts from the great southern land. And Mia saying don't blame me. Blame me for what, Mia? Blame me for what? I don't know what they're talking about. Right. Another one again from Graham. Graham's throws it in every week. I think he's got them written in a book. Like he's saying, best Wonder Woman, Linda Carter or Gal Gadot?
Linda Carter.
Linda
Carter for me as well, because I haven't got a clue who Gal Gadot is.
Yeah, she's a new one. The newer version.
I remember being young once, and I remember Linda Carter, and I reckon that some of you boys, yeah, and maybe some of you girls as well in the chat probably had posters of Linda Carter on your walls when you were younger.
No, but you can't forget Linda Carter, can you?
The silence is stunning. No one wants to say, yeah, I was one of them. Oh, yeah. So I hope that answers that for you, Graham. And then the last question we've got for the time being is, who would you rather have in your team, Jude Bellingham or Phil Foden?
Oh, you want to go, Chris?
No, you go. I'm thinking about this one.
Foden's never played better, has he, this season? But Jude Bellingham, I mean, what a player as well. So mature, isn't he? And at a younger age than Foden. It took Foden a while to establish himself fully at Man United, like he has really done this season. Really cemented his place. But Jude Bellingham, I would go for the younger talent. Yeah, they're both fantastic players. England are lucky to have those two.
Take your Barcelona head off.
Yeah, no, I'm doing that. I was on, as you know, I was on Talking Ball earlier, and I said that I'd taken a break from doing a course on, was a little seminar, a webinar, as they call it over here. I don't know if they call it over there or not.
Yeah, it's a webinar. Yeah, webinar.
Yeah. On elite individual, becoming an elite individual analyst, about how to recognize players and how they falter, and what you need to do to recognize what they need to improve, and how they come and push through the academies and levels and etc. And I think that without my Barcelona head on and just taking into consideration all that I've just blabbed about, I'm going to go with Foden because he is the epitome of that product. He is the finished article of what I was just studying. And whilst Jude Bellingham isn't, so to speak, just through that process, I think Foden, they're both brilliant. I give them both 9 out of 10. But yeah. I think I pick Foden because of the reasons and what I've just been studying. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, I am going to go, if I'm looking for the all-round package, which is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for an individual. I'm looking for the all-round package. I take on board Chris's comments. I take on board what Adrian said as well. And for me, I just think the complete player for me is Jude Bellingham. At this present moment in time, he's just a complete player. He can play 6, 8, 10. He can play false 9 if need be. He can play out wide for you. He can play absolutely everywhere. He comes up with. He can play as a second striker as well. He's just a complete player. And looking at the size of him as well, he's a proper man, isn't he? He's like he's beast mode. He gets into beast mode and everything. 2 very, very good players England have got within their ranks, amongst others coming through as well, because I think there's other players that are coming through that are really good. England are very lucky in the middle and latter part of the field with some of the players they've got. But yeah, if you're asking me the question, I'm going to have to go for it. This present moment in time, I'd go for Bellingham. When I was saying that, Foden scored some hat-trick, didn't he? He scored some hat-trick yesterday. But yeah, I'm going to go Bellingham on that. In the chat, you have got people have gone for. So Mia's gone for Bellingham. Oops, yeah, Mia's gone for Bellingham. James actually lives in Birmingham. Says Jude used to go to my sister's school. Johnny Bethnal Green saying Bellingham all day, proper unit and a great character. Brian G saying probably Jude Bellingham as he has more attributes to his game. Both are brilliant though. David Shears simply said Bellingham. Mia's agreeing, says Jude seems like a really good kid. Smithy says, can't we just have both? How long you been with us? You know you can't have both. Need to sound hello to some people. Channel plug. So please subscribe to Chris at youtube.com at MetaFootball TV as he returns from an enforced break. He was
Thank you.
studying, so he's returning from an enforced break. He's going to be picking up his channel again very, very shortly if he's not done so already. So go over and sub, show him some love, and let's
Thank
get
you.
his subscriber count up.
Thank you.
And then you've got Nita says, I always talk about players, feet on the ball. Foden is one of them. And then Stewie's saying, with the talent England have, it's criminal we struggle in games like we do. Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, Chris, you've done the coaching now, and Adrian, you watch football for many, many years. Has he got a point here, Stewie?
160 million%.
What's the problem then, Chris, in your eyes? And then Adrian, I'll ask you the same question as well in a minute.
Manager.
Yeah.
Because you've got basically because you've got the players, and the players have to fulfill what the manager's vision, right? So whenever you talk about 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 3-5-2, whatever tactical formation you want to use, that's only because you've got the players and your vision, and you want to put that into practice, right? It's not because you lack players, because you've got them, and that's the way you want to play. So however England wanted to play or want to play under Southgate, that's the way he wants, and that's how he sees best fit for the players he has. And you let those players play under their own will, without any kind of stranglehold or tactical stranglehold, right, so to speak, they will play 100% better.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Because they don't have to do what the manager says. And if the manager is limited, right, then the players are going to be limited. Do you see what I mean? Because they have to do what the manager wants, because the manager thinks that if you're attacking an Italy side, you have to do it this way. The players might think totally different, because the players are the ones that are feeling, they're actually there feeling, they've got a feel for the actual game and the actual atmosphere and the ambience and the sweat of the player that's next to him and the one that's, that is the real game that's happening on the pitch, not from the sidelines, you see. So the manager is the problem, not the players, in my opinion.
He might go for it this time. If he's going to leave the job, he might just take a risk and think his job's not on the line if he's the hints of him going to Man United or whatever it is. But I agree, Chris, because when you look back, when we've had more tactical adept managers, more attack-minded managers, I mean, you could name Hoddle, Venables and Bobby Robson. Their teams played totally different. You can go, and also look at, we've tried it with foreign managers, it doesn't work. Sven-Goran Eriksson had a good crop of players. He was negative as well. You know, he was playing Lampard and Gerrard on the same team. Not that they shouldn't play together, but there are times when you might want to put an extra attacking midfielder in there, more attacking midfielder in there than what he did against certain teams. I'm not saying you do it against Germany or Italy or Spain or something like that, but in other games. And I just felt the life force being drained out of me watching England play with the quality of players they had. It was just exasperating. We should have won. We haven't won a trophy in 75 years or something, I think. 66 or something. I mean, so, no, I mean, I agree. Look, Southgate has done well to get us as far in tournaments as he's done. But if he'd been bold in the Italy game, I mean, it went to penalties. We lost it on penalties, the final. I think Italy were there for the taking. They weren't getting any younger, that Italian side. And it just needed legs. You know, more energy would have got us across the line in that game. And it was a shame, you know. So, yeah.
Who was the manager of that Italian? Who was the manager of the Italy side when they won it? Right. Well, you tell me if the difference between getting to a final, manager-wise, is the courage and the balls that one has, and the laissez-faire kind of Southgate-esque kind of attitude that he might have Yeah, well, he might not. He has. And the one that says, I'm going to get this match from the scruff of the neck and I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this. And one that says, no, we have to be conservative and we have to do this and we have to rely on Keynes or whoever it was down the right wing or whoever it was at midfield. And yeah, we'll just go with this, lads, because I trust in our team and we've got here because we're great. Yeah, or one that says, "Ma cazzo che figlio di puta," and if you don't do this, and he gives them a good bollocking. Right? Can you see Southgate doing that?
No, I don't see him doing the wrist thing. I mean, previous Italians.
No, but you see what I mean. You see the character, the personality in one, and the lack of personality in the other, right? Can win you a game.
Yeah, and previously,
because the quality in both sides exists. You see.
Well, again,
the difference in levels is not here and here. The difference in quality is there.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe one defends better than the other. Right. But quality-wise, they are very, very similar, right? But it all depends on up here when you're in a final. So
previously in the Nations Cup, and that, I mean, see, Italy were braver. People would say their defence, they were braver. I remember when they played Pirlo, like, it was getting his pension, but they'd put two midfielders either side of him to do the graft, just give Pirlo the ball, to do his stuff. Well, you wouldn't see Southgate do that, would you? So I think you've got nothing to lose by being bold. It's the England team. You're a multi-millionaire manager. Whatever happens, if you lose your job, you lose your job. But, fans want to see good football. This team, this 11, when they're fit, though, that they should go all the way, really. Because even again, Saka wasn't playing and Kane wasn't playing. And if Saka and Kane were playing in there with Bellingham and Rice and Foden, that front six. My question about England, Pickford's okay as a goalkeeper. I wouldn't class him as world class, but he's okay. Centre backs worry me for England. You got Walker who could nip in there, but he's on the right. And then if left back, you need Shaw fit. I've not been impressed with Gomez playing there or Chilwell.
Chilwell. But we reverted to a back four now, didn't we? Play back three, because I've obviously watched England from afar. I can't get it on TV unless I stream it. For those who are, whatever. But I think we played better with a back three. If I'm not incorrect in my assessment, I think we played with three and the two holding midfielders with Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, wasn't it?
Or Henderson.
Or Henderson, yeah, but it was definitely a back three with two wing backs and two holding midfielders. And was that not? Am I incorrect, or have I got a point?
He did that, didn't he? Because I remember when he brought Kyle Walker into play as a right-sided centre back. In a couple of games. So he, when he did that, I don't know if he did that because he was forced to because of injuries or he was short of centre backs at that time. Okay. Another thing against that Brazil game, Stones didn't play either, so I would have thought he'd be a pick. I don't know who the second centre back would be in that team. Maguire's been getting game time. He's not
friendly, you mean? The other day.
Yeah. So this is only had no Shaw, no Stones, no Saka, no Kane. I mean, they're good players, but I still get weaknesses at the back. Our front six, you can vary our front six. And I think the front six for England's good. There's a lot of talent there. A lot of talent. I've never seen so much talent there, I don't think, that front six.
England's got huge potential. You just got to find the man that can mix that can gel all that potential. And I don't think Southgate he's just that kind of step behind. And I think that the players, whether new ones come in or the veterans remain, some of them or most of them, whatever, I think that it could get a bit stale. It could get a bit. I've heard this before, and he's got nothing new to say to me. I don't know how many years exactly he's been England manager, but I think that I see England as a bland national football team. There's nothing there that gets me excited, bar one or two things that your Fodens, your Bellinghams, your Grealishes, that can do a bit of trickery, that can get you off your seat sometimes. I just don't see it.
I think if Walker's on the right with Stones, any team that plays that's good, that's going to attack Chilwell on the left side of centre back.
Well, because that's your weakest point.
Yeah.
that's just plain obvious. You've got a good point, but it's of course, yeah. But still, yeah. Anyway.
Right. Yeah, just debate now, so I can have a chat. Right.
We've done your dirty work for you for the last 25 minutes.
No, what I was going to say, for my point to this is, and I wanted to see what you two had to say first of all, is I remember, and I see Danny put in a comment earlier, and I will catch up with the chat, but I saw Danny put a comment in earlier, and he was talking about, you saw a golden generation come and go, and he feels that we could be losing another one again. I'm sure he's put that in some comments somewhere there. Now, whereby I think that there was division amongst the camp when we had the first supposed generation here in England. I don't believe there's that division in the team now. So the way that these players play for their clubs, can they fit into a national team and play the same way that they play at their clubs? I don't think they can. I don't think any national side can get a team of 11 players to play exactly how they play for their club. It doesn't happen. I don't see any national side that has 11 players that play exactly the same way they play for their club. So I'm talking about Walker playing the way he plays for Man City. He doesn't play for England the same way he plays for Man City. You don't get Foden playing the same way. You know, all these players, when you put them all into a team together, they don't play exactly the same way that they play week in and week out for their clubs. And we can say there's a lot of national sides that have a lot of good players, but I don't think there's any national side I've ever seen that goes out and plays like they play for their. I think the closest I'll tell you what, the closest I reckon I've seen someone do that was France when they won in 1998. The players that they had in that team then, right, played the way that they did for the national side, the way they did for their club sides. And that's the nearest I've seen a national team play like that.
I'm struggling with that a bit because I think Foden, Kane, because Kane's he's multi-positional anyway, and Saka play the way they do for their clubs. I think Rice does, Bellingham as well. I mean, I think in this team, I think they do. I think they're pretty close to it. And when we don't know what roles Southgate, so you've got them in their positions. You can give them any number you like, the player. But how has Southgate told that particular player to play? You don't know that. We're not privy to what's said in the dressing room or at training. And if he said to Walker, well, wouldn't you be a bit more cautious and stay back or whatever, or just mark the fast winger, I can understand that tactically. But I don't know. I know Bellingham scored loads of goals for Real Madrid, but I don't know if he plays any different for England as he does. To me, he's always looking on the front foot, always looking to go forward and try and glide past someone. So
I mean, Chris gets. I don't know. Chris watches Spanish football, but I don't know whether he watches Real Madrid. But
I can answer the question.
But you can answer, can't you? What position does he play for Real Madrid? Because he plays far more advanced, as far as I'm aware, for Madrid than what he does for England.
Basically, he has to accomplish what Real Madrid lacks, which is an out-and-out goal scorer. Right. So Ancelotti has. He has seen that Rodrigo and Vinicius are not out-and-out goal scorers. They are more left, right, whatever you want, whatever side you can choose, whatever you want side you want to choose. They are left forward, right forward. They are wingers, whatever you want to call them. And he has taken the best of Jude Bellingham and he has pushed him slightly forward or has given him a free roll and said, the rest of the pitch is yours. Do what you want. If you need to drop back, drop deeper. If you need to go forward, go forward. Do what you want. Because I haven't got that out-and-out striker, okay? Which is why he's scoring tons of goals, because no one else is scoring them, and he's Real Madrid's top scorer for the season, right? What he does with England, no real difference, bar the fact that you've got a Harry Kane or you've got whoever you've got up front, right? So Jude Bellingham, the fact that he plays for England similarly to the way, obviously there's going to be tactical differences or nuances, between Real Madrid and the national team, there's no real big difference. He just plays freely the way he wants, and that's it. And he's a link-up man, and he does what he wants because he's that good. Okay, so there's no real change there. It's really Real Madrid. Real Madrid have just said, plonk, do what you want. So it'll be different next season if Mbappe finally signs for Real Madrid, or if they get an out-and-out striker, or how that changes. We'll see a different Bellingham, but he is their main attacking force. So, but I don't know. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I'd agree with what you said, Jose, on previous teams, because I think previous England teams, the players have been shackled. I think these.
I'd like to go on that as well.
These played Southgate has been a bit more cautious, but the team has got across the line to get through progressing finals before. You just want to see him to be bold. This might be your last tournament as manager. Be bold with it. You shouldn't fear anyone.
So you've got David Clark saying Southgate is a total bottler. It's there for everyone to see. In the final versus Italy, the Italian coach took 3 players off who were dominating us. Did Southgate then go all out to win? No, he didn't. You've got
conservatism for you.
Time to win something now is what James is saying. David Clarkson coming back in and said, no England coach has ever had such lucky draws in tournaments at Southgate. You never had to beat any top side to get to the semi-final stage of any tournament. Good evening, Leo. How are you, mate? I hope all is well.
Hey, ¿qué pasa?
I hope all is well. Let me see. Spurs GCTV saying, manager, tactics aside, where do you see the weaknesses in the English squad?
The manager.
Defense. Manager and tactics aside, where do you see the weaknesses in the England squad?
Oh, the socks.
I think it's defensively. I think somehow at the moment, and the thing is, I think there's good defenders out there. They're just not being selected. Whether it's because of injury or whether because Southgate favorises certain individuals. I mean, Braithwaite Evan looks like a sort of proper centre half and a proper footballer. Is he getting the chances? Yeah, Braithwaite. He's not getting the chances to come in. Maguire's still there.
He looks solid, Jared Braithwaite, doesn't he? He does look solid, a real solid centre back, and he's a unit as well for a kid. He is a unit. Right. So I could see him.
Honestly, but honestly, if you were with Southgate, would you go with someone that inspires confidence, even if it's 65% confidence, or would you go with Braithwaite, who is an unknown at international level, that is not Maguire level, and go with him as opposed to Maguire? As a coach, I would not. I would stick with Maguire because I know what he can give me. Attitude-wise, technically, tactically, I would stick with what I know. Okay, it's not bottling in that respect.
You need to use that word that level, and the best way to blood him is either in the friendlies or if you're in that silly Nations Cup tournament. It's the time to bring him in, because the Euros and the World Cup are obviously a lot more important. But what I do like, what I am hopeful, if Southgate screws up this time with this generation, is the fact that this generation is very young. There are a lot of young players in the England side, and they're going to be around for the next 2 or 3 tournaments. This Euros and the next World Cup. And then you've got to take more positivity. But it's going to be the same for all the foreign teams as well, right? But in the next 2 years, someone else is going to come through anyway in the next 4. So you'll be adding those too. But so will Spain, Italy, Germany, and everyone else. So, I mean, they're all keeping the pot simmering there, right? So with their players, but we just seem to have a good crop because, it's a lot of foreign teams want to come and take our younger players because we don't play them. And we don't play them because only 3% of academy players in the Premier League actually become a member of their 25-man first-team squads. And then out of that 3%, you took how long it took Foden to come through, and they got rid of Jadon Sancho, didn't they, when he went to Dortmund and come back to Man United and things like that. And that if you're a top 6 or top 8 club and you're wealthier, there's less chance a young player is going to get a game anyway. But if you're a mid-table team or a bottom 8 team, say, then they play their youngsters, and if they shine, then the top clubs come and cherry pick them, right? But they don't. Managers won't take the risk, as a coach. I mean, like, if they're risk averse, if you play a youngster, well, one, you put him on the bench. You can annoy senior players on the bench. Why am I not getting my chance? An older player, you can affect morale, can't you? Can happen, right? So that could happen. Why is he getting on the bench instead of me? And 2, you then play him, and if he's not ready and you destroy his confidence, or if he's not ready and he makes a disastrous mistake, then the manager's going to get it right in the neck, isn't he? Because it doesn't take long for a fan base of any club to go toxic, So
unless they are very special players, which is what academies are for, you see. And what you're saying is that about the 3%, etc. I stopped the course that I was doing, or the webinar, just on that, and it's called funneling. You get into a funnel, which is that if you're, for example, say someone like, I don't know, Spurs striker is not ready to be called up for the first team. Okay, now, regardless of us having our 2 top strikers injured, for example, I'm just supposing, it's just an example. You'd have to loan him out. Would you loan him out to the UK? Would you loan him out to, wherever, Europe, for example? That is a funneling system, right? Because other academies will show that player what he's lacking in the British academy or the UK academy, because the way the British or the UK teams play is totally different than what they play on the continent, you see. So that will absolutely improve the way that player will progress, and he'll come back, and hopefully he will get a place. He'll go for another funneling system, and he will. You see what I mean? So that is what is called funneling. And now, you only get Messi's once every blue moon. You only get Lamine Yamal's every once blue moon. You get the Kubarsis, who is the centre back now for Barcelona, who is even ahead of Christensen's playing centre mid, but holding midfielder. But what's his name? Koundé is right back. Araujo is centre back, and Kubarsi, who's 16, he's playing as Barcelona's starting 11 centre back, and he's 16, right? Now, that is what your academy is for, to find that gem, right, that can do everything, because they are so special. If he wasn't that good, he wouldn't be playing in Barcelona's starting 11, and that is what Tottenham have to do. That is what the top echelons of the club have to do. They have to put their faith into the club, into the lower, the people that work, the scouts, the whole system, so that we can layer that cake, so we can be the Barcelonas, the Man Cities. You know what I mean? And this is why Jose's question, I want to link that onto Jose's question to answer it, that the national teams are not like they used to be, because you had 3, 4, 5 players from one club before playing for the national team. Now you get very few. You see why? Because they're either playing out in foreign clubs, or the most similar one, you say France 98, was that correct, Jose? Not France 98 that you said that was
I'm talking looking at a national team that play more similarly, that the players played for their national team the way they played for their clubs. The nearest team that I can associate in my memory is the team that won the World Cup in '98. I thought Zidane played like he played for his club. Henry did. Trezeguet did. If I go through the whole of their team, Didier Deschamps did. Desailly did. LeBlanc, whatever his name is, did. Petit did. Lizarazu did. If I go through their team, the players that played in that, they played for the national side the same way that they played for their club sides. And it's hard to it's hard. And what I was trying to say, it's hard to get. We can have, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to liken this England team and look at the way they play for their clubs. And
I understand that.
We've got a dearth of players there. We've got so many players that play
We-
in the mid and up and in the front three positions, but by hook or by crook, they don't seem to play the same way, fluidly, the same way they play for their clubs.
Correct. Because the manager hasn't identified the strengths of the players individually to make it a compact.
But he's had
global-
6.5 years. I mean, France.
But that's his weakness. That's not the players' fault.
Because France ended up winning the World Cup, but I'm not going to sit around and say to you that France had 7 years preparation for it, because I don't know. But it's what they did for their clubs. They seem to translate what they did for their clubs for the national side.
Correct.
They played exactly the same way.
Don't you think that there was a team that was slightly closer to your heart than France '98 that would have been the Spain treble winner? Right.
Yeah, but the team that played with Spain, I can't turn around and say that they all played identically the way they played for their clubs.
No, I'm just asking. Don't you think that they were similar? That way, that fashion, that style.
Yeah, they were that way. But I saw more France '98 team.
Oh, okay.
Each player for player, I could resonate and say that's the way he plays for his club. He's playing exactly the same way, and I could pick the players from the France team and say that's the way that they're playing for their clubs. With the Spanish national team, a lot of them played for their clubs. I mean, the Barcelona players played for Spain the same way they played for Barcelona, but I can't say that the Real Madrid players in the side did, and the Villarreal players, I can't say they played for the Spanish national team the way they played for their clubs. But in the France '98 team, I saw more from the France '98 team that I could associate them with their clubs the way that they were playing in the positions.
I think that's why you have to. This is why you've got to have the right manager, like Chris alluded to as well, because Gus Hiddink turned around and said, well, he's manager of South Korea, wasn't he? When had that good was Hiddink, Gus Hiddink,
Gus Hiddink,
yeah, and he turned around and said he made something that like caught my ears at the time. He said, your national side, sort of similar to what Jose's alluding to as well, get where it's coming. Your national side should be a replica of your national league. Your team, your national side should play the style of football that is played in your league. So if you play a defensive style of football in Italy, I don't know if they do, I haven't watched Italian football for ages, right? Or whatever. Or
they're the most defensively minded people in the world.
Then your team should reflect that. But then you get a manager come in who's, look, you don't want cautious managers, basically. They're no good for man or beast. They're just not fun. Teams don't play. I mean, you want to fill out a stadium. And a lot of fans from the lower leagues in all countries, they used to support the national side mostly because they know their team is, unless they get a bit of luck in a cup run, they're never going to win nothing. They haven't got the money, things like that. So they want to see their national side play well, right? But England have been such a disappointment, So
England, I think England you can compare a bit of England to what Spurs have been, so to speak. That they've been signing like Sven Jordan Eriksson because they were good at club level, and they went to Fabio Capello that had absolutely nothing to do with English football whatsoever. And you hear stories like the after-game pint. That after-game pint was taken away. What you're doing? That's English culture, man. You can't take English culture away from English players, and family, this and that. What you're doing, you're ripping the soul out of English players and English footballers that have got it inbred in them to have a pint after. What you're doing, and no one's going to perform if you're taking the soul out of the, and that was probably the Scholes and the Lampard and the Gerrard era. I think that was. Obviously, I was following it from afar, but I think that was the era when the top is doing the things wrong and you're not identifying the process is wrong in identification of what you really need. Yeah, that's very, very Levy-esque to not identify and to just put patches over the cracks. That sounds very Spursy not Spursy, sorry, very Levy to me.
I think what he's referring to, Adrian, because you're a bit older than us, but what Chris is referring to, the culture and of having a beer and a fag in the changing room, a fag at half time.
He's always had a fag.
Yeah, having a snifter before the game and all that shit that used to happen back in the day. But that was cut out. That was cut out after the 90s. I'd say probably by the early 2000s. that had all changed by then.
I was drinking in the horse and groom with Martin Chivers, Martin Peters, and Ralph Coates. They were having a pint during a week in between games, right?
Yeah.
I've been in Chan's nightclub with Razor Ruddock with his hand over my shoulder, like, what? He's a big guy, you know what I mean? And things like that. We used to meet loads of we used to go in because a friend of mine ran the nightclub, Rudolph's, at the front of the Spurs ground. When the Chanticleer was there, after the game, right, we'd go in the Chanticleer and you went upstairs, there was a players' bar. Because we always used to go in a players' bar, meet some of the players. Some of them liked to drink, some were pretty steady. You know, I met Perryman and Pratt and people like that and things like that. You know, I mean, like met quite a few players, Miller, things like that. Yeah, but there was a different culture. You heard about the Chelsea team in the 60s when Spurs were winning the double and beating them in the 67 Cup final. You know, used to talk about the King's Road and they'd all be going down there and getting... And the drinking sessions you were hearing, I don't know if they're true, about Osgood and the Hutchinson and whatever, you know. A great side, Chelsea then.
Down the King's Road, they were always... Because I went to school in Chelsea. And I used to see all the players down the King's Road and all before the town hall, in the boozers before the town hall. Then they would be in the boozers and the American diners where the town hall was. And then they'd all have a drink as well, down as far down to the World's End, Chelsea. So, yeah, the Chelsea players, I used to go to school and I used to see them all the time, the Chelsea players.
Can you imagine Razor Ruddock being an England team, like having a pint or whatever in the bar at Wembley or wherever they played, or having a bar with the lads, with a team, win, lose or draw, it doesn't matter, international friendly or qualify, whatever, having a booze up, right, after, waiting for the coach or whatever, and Capello coming and saying, no, you can't drink, no drinking. What do you think Razor Ruddock would do? Probably lamp him 4 times on each side of his nose or whatever. Yeah, turn him inside out, black and blue, and what? Fuck off, mate. You know.
But we are digressing. But
but you see what I mean? It's like very anti-cultural kind of.
And another silly thing, right? Conte comes in and bans tomato sauce, right? How much tomato sauce do you think these players are putting on their chips? A gallon or something? And they're running around at 100 miles an hour. I mean, it's just an absolute joke, isn't it? Burn it off.
Right, let's move on because otherwise we're going to be stuck. Right, so just to catch up with what people were saying, but just with what people were saying about this.
Right.
So just, and I don't want any more questions. I'm just going to answer because this is what we talked about. England still has a very average defence. We don't have a decent left back, and our centre backs are nothing special. An old man Henderson and a hod carrier Phillips will win us sod all. Let me have a look. There was someone else's comment here. Nita says, Gareth is not so brave. I have yet to see him free up the skill players in the England team. He tries to control. Then we get shot in the foot. Audio is saying England won't win anything until we get a world-class or as close to as possible goalkeeper. I don't see any coming along.
I think we had one, but we've killed him.
Then you've got so Phil P's here. Hiya, Phil P. Hope you're well, mate. Then David Clark saying, when I look at Southgate on the England bench in discussion with his assistant, I'm sorry, they just don't fill me with any confidence. Their body language gives them away in difficult moments in games. And Stewie is, I don't know, he says, I don't know, 5% of the knowledge you gents have. You do, Stewie, you have got knowledge. And I am predicting that Archie Gray as one of the players who will break into this England side in the next couple of years. Archie Gray, I've been saying and banging the drum saying Archie Gray would be a great signing for Tottenham, right? But there's bigger fish in the pond looking at Archie Gray at the moment. You've got some big clubs currently looking at Archie Gray. So, yeah. And Daniel Lee's coming with, and people get hyped about what great talent of players we've got, but not one fan thinks about who's taking Kane's place long term. He's 31 this summer. In all honesty, Danny, to answer that, if Kane stays injury free and fit for the next 3 to 4 years, Kane will remain England's number 9.
Yeah.
So, you know, at the end of the day, you've probably got time on your hands because there's no one. He's elite, regardless of what people, whoever supports whatever team throughout anywhere in the world, everyone must recognise now Kane is elite. Kane is an elite striker. End of story. If you're looking at the world's best, he is in the top 3 world's best strikers. He's
I
elite.
agree.
He's elite.
Look how long Giroud's played for France. Olivier Giroud. I mean, these strikers, they get more guile when they get older. I mean, Sheringham never had the greatest of pace. Great football brain, right? Kane wasn't as fast. Yeah, Kane wasn't as fast as Shearer, but he's a bit quicker than Sheringham, I would have thought. And I think he can play to his 35 quite easily. So he'll make another couple of tournaments. And by then, someone's always going to be top scorer in the Premier League. These people come through. You just hope they're English, obviously. I'm not Watkins and all that. I'm like that with Watkins and Tony again, because Kane's so good. That's why. So maybe I'm being a bit harsh there. I don't see.
Yeah, but Kane is so complete that Tony's like an out-and-out striker. Watkins can be like an out-and-out striker if you want him to. But Kane's a playmaker. He's do you know what I mean? He's everything all in one. Yeah. That's what makes him so differential. He's a playmaker, he's a finisher, he's a goal scorer, he's a free kick taker, he's everything. And that is why an out-and-out striker, a number 9, a pure number 9, he's not a pure number 9. He's England's number 9, but he's not a number 9. He's everything all in one.
He looks good. Yeah. We've got some talent though. That young kid that play in midfield, he looked good, but I don't know if he's English or a foreign national or whatever.
Mainu.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Is he? Oh no, he's English.
He's
talking rubbish. Yeah. He played for
against Brazil.
Yeah, of course. What? Getting tired. Right. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, he looks a talent for his age.
He's very, very good.
Have you? I don't know if you've got Spurs player or anything like that, Chris, but
no.
Some of them academy players, Spurs, honestly, some of them. I mean, I know it's at that level, and they do have to go out on loan and tough it out. And the thing that gets me with them as well, I mean, I suggested this a few times. I said, looks like Velez is going to come back to Spurs because they won't play him out at Sevilla or wherever he is, right? So
he's got competition now.
Yeah. So then, this is one thing I question with Spurs loans. That's a bit of a bugbear of mine, because I think you should have some sort of incentive scheme when they go away on loan. I know with some players, if they're an established player, there's a loan fee plus your player's wages if they're really good and he's surplus to requirements. When they're a kid, I'm not sure how it works with kids, whether it's just a loan fee which encompasses their wages or not. I'd like to see some sort of system whereby we loan you one of our players. If you play him for 90 minutes, we'll cover his wages for that game. Or if you play him for half a game, we'll cover half his wages. Because a lot of the times these other clubs want players is because they can't afford to go out and buy players and they need cover, or they're desperate, or they've had a horrific list of injuries and things like that. And so, but this is no good. I mean, I think Dwayne Scarlett will make it as a footballer, whether it's at Spurs or not. But he went to Ipswich and they didn't play him. At least Devine and Phillips are getting time at Plymouth. Matthew Craig's getting time at Doncaster. There are others, But, I mean, I like Alfie Devine, and I think Phillips and Dorrington left centre-backs. They'll have a future, definitely.
Yeah.
Young Mikey Moore, he's just a freak. He looks, but it's at his age, 16, 17, I mean, to score something like, 12 goals in 14 games and a hat-trick against Croatia and have something like 8 or 9 assists is mental. And so are Jamie Donnelly's stats are mental as well, so as a striker. But, the under-21s are top of the league by a couple of points. They've got 2 games in hand. They just look that good. But not so much of a mention regarding goalkeeper or fullbacks. It always seems the players that are really getting the mentions in the under-21s that look good seem to be in sort of midfield and the front. The wingers and the front strikers. Santiago, I like him. I like the play. He's so tricky. Lancashire, you got Donnelly, like I say. Who's the other guy up front that's banging him in? Oh, I can't recall at the moment in time. I'll watch as many academy games on Spurs players as I can.
And, Santiago, Iago Santiago is banging him in as well.
Yeah. And he didn't have the best of seasons last season. This season, he's sort of... See, this is where these players can even go uphill or downhill, I mean, he kicked on this year. He has kicked on this year. And
consistency is key in anything you do in life, and in football as well. So,
right, I'm going to just following on from the questions about England.
Sure.
People have asked some other ones, so it's just a yes or a no answer. Ryan G says, "Do you think Gareth Sedative will take Palmer?"
He should. So yes.
So you're saying you should do. What do you say, Adrian?
I haven't seen enough of him.
I think Cole Palmer is a player. When we're talking about your Fodens, and I said we had players coming through, Cole Palmer is one that I was referring to. I think Cole Palmer has an absolutely excellent future and has one of the highest ceilings as well of any youngster that I've seen in a long time. He's carrying Chelsea. He's carrying Chelsea. He was great at Man City. He only left Man City because he weren't getting the first team appearances that he wanted, because he wanted them quick. He's now gone to a club. I believe that Chelsea are now going to offer him a new contract already, just to stave off everyone and to pay him more, a salary which recognises his attributes and his skills and that. I think Palmer's a fantastic player. And he's come out of that.
City let him go to a rival?
No, because he didn't want to. He wanted to play more first team football.
See, like Jadon Sancho did and others like that. I get that.
Yeah. So he's taking his chance.
Right loans for these players.
He's taking his chance, and I think he's going to go. He's going to go far. So I would take him as well. Rolling on that theme. Okay, which team would you want Southgate as their manager? Which team would want Southgate as their manager, do you think, if any?
Current team?
Premiership team.
Yeah, because when he finishes his tenure, is it this year or is it next year? When is it? Because it all depends on.
I think it finishes this summer, but there's talk about the FA want to rehire him for another 2 years, I think.
Right, so if it's current, I see him at kind of like a Wolves or sorry, Ryan, but a Wolves or like a mid-table like that to build on, to give him, 3, 4, 5 years to build, to give them stability, like they've done with O'Neill, like to give them, good fit, something like that.
If Man United sacked Ten Hag or Newcastle got rid of Eddie Howe, I could see him at one of those clubs. I could see him at Newcastle, because at least his name is all PR. Because he gives you the right PR frontage, doesn't he, Southgate? And I think he's an easy get out for some teams. I don't think he would take a job like Wolves or Brighton or Bournemouth or anyone like that. West Ham's an option. Possibly West Ham. But
I think the Newcastle fans would jump. They would kick his house down, because I think they've got the taste of good football back, which they had in the 90s, right, with Shearer and Ginola and Asprilla, and they've gone down in the doldrums, and they've finally come back with Eddie Howe. They've got good owners now. They don't want to aspire for boring football, and I'm just afraid that a big-ish, like big as in historical club like Newcastle would want conservative football. I think they'd kick his house down.
I think Liverpool fans would do the same if he went there.
But he wouldn't be offered the job.
Everton after Dyche.
One of those clubs like Everton, Wolves, kind of like a mid. With all due respect, because every club in England is historical and it has his, But I think one of those mid consolidation, mid West Ham, that have done phenomenal under Moyes. But Moyes has been there quite a few years now, and he's been given that trampoline, that the time to progress and to and he's been lucky with lucky. He's obviously developed the player like Jared Bowen. Wouldn't you want Jared Bowen in a lily white shirt? I mean, Jesus Christ, I would. He's got team. He's got for the backing. He's been given that time and that support and the trust. And when it's been you know, when he's had bad days and bad weeks and bad results, they couldn't care less. They still back Moyes, you know, and he's been given the seasons to go to Europe and bloody win, you know. So
yeah, after
why
West
wouldn't
Ham fan base, they want him
that?
out. They want Moyes out.
Well,
Steve,
that's fine. That's up to them. But I'm not a West Ham fan.
This is what happens when a manager raises your expectations. When he's won a trophy, their first trophies in years. It's the same happened with Poch now. Since we had Poch and he took this club to a new level, right? The expectations leveled off there now. That's why Chelsea will implode. Their fan base for 20 years, them kids growing up, all they've ever seen is Chelsea win trophies. For them to go 2 or 3 years without winning a trophy, it'll get very toxic down there. They seem to expect it, you know. I mean, Man United fans are like that. They've always sort of expected success, but I think a lot of them have realised the last few years that they still need a big rebuild.
Top down rebuilds, and with the new, you know, with Ineos and whatever his name is, Ratcliffe, I think they can do things. They can do things properly that they've been lacking for so many years. Good luck to them because they're historical as well, you know.
But they're looking. But all reports are, Chris, they're currently looking at Southgate.
Well, I mean, I shiver me timbers. I mean, because if that's the football that Man U are going to get, then maybe he has got something up his sleeve. Maybe he's going to do a course in the summer that I don't know, improve something easy on the iFootball course. 2 weeks.
If I was Southgate, though, and he wins them Euros with that young squad of players, I don't want to leave that England job. I want to stay there because it's exciting. But it all depends. We could have a really good Euros, or it could just all implode and go to pieces, right? I don't think it will. I think we'll definitely get last 4, but then, you know, that's when you're down to your manager, mate.
Right, I'm going to move it along. Right,
go for it.
Next question. Fastest finger first, I think, between you two. I know the answers already. Nita wants to know. He wants you to name the 5 players that played for England when we had Poch as our manager.
Easy. Kane, Ali, Rose, Walker, Winks.
That's 5.
You're missing 2.
Well, you're not going to go. You're not going to say missing 2. Dyer's 1, so that'd be 6. I know.
What about Trippier?
He came at a different time when we had 6 playing for him. Then he came later because he came after.
Yeah, but he played for England whilst Poch was in charge, didn't he?
Yes, that's 7 then, isn't it?
Yeah, and what about Andros Townsend?
He did get a cap, didn't he? Because he scored.
Yeah,
didn't he?
That's right.
That's 8.
Forgot about him.
There you go. So I don't know whether the chat got 6, but we're just giving you 8. Yeah.
Very good.
Agreed. The panel have given 8. Let me see if anyone's commenting on that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've got to catch up. Where we go? No, that's all right. We've done that, so that's fine. Right. Next, we've done that. What's his name? David. If you're still listening, you need to check your phone, mate. Simple as. Right. Spurs GCTV's question from earlier. Keep, bench, sell. A vinyl, a cassette tape, or a CD?
Oh, you know my answer on this.
Go on then.
On me, I'm keeping CDs. I've got such a collection.
Yeah, he's got millions. Have you seen when he does the tour through the key? Have you ever seen Through the Keyhole, Chris?
Yeah.
You want me to show you?
The program go to people's houses and they give you clues.
Probably go, right?
What's his name? Lloyd Grossman.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Here we go. Look.
Let me
Through the Keyhole with Adrian.
Don't move. I can see it from here.
Okay, right. Whoops. Before I break everything.
What have you got, Barry Manilow?
Okay, right. Can you see them towers, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 there, and this one here.
Just like the new Levy Tower.
Yeah. So there's about, I haven't counted them. There'll be like 1,300 to 1,500 CDs.
Jesus.
And then he's got another tower with books.
Oh yeah, I've
well.
got loads of books.
So
Plug the thing back in.
So obviously you're keeping CDs.
Yeah.
What are you benching, the vinyl or the cassette tape?
I'm going to bench the vinyl and banish the cassette tape. Why? Because I had vinyls and cassette tapes and never had a great experience with them. They either got hot in the summer and they wouldn't play properly, or they'd slow up in the recording thing. I mean, I had quite a few cassettes as well because I used to take them on holiday because I didn't mind if I destroyed them or not. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So apparently vinyl's making a bit of a big comeback. But yeah.
Chris?
But I love my classical and my rock music. I like my rock music, my classical music. I like all music really, but they're my two favourites genres.
I'm gonna keep vinyl because of the nostalgia, because they're just brilliant. I'll bench CD because of the quality, and I'll sell the tapes because they're just a pain in the ass.
Right, I'm going to go different. I'm going to say I'm going to keep the vinyl. I used to like my 33s and my 45s, and I've got stacks of them upstairs in the loft.
No 78s, just.
Yeah, I've got 78s as well, but they're all in the loft. Right. Wait your turn. You're going to answer this next, Mr. Shear. Hold on. I'm answering. Then you can have a go. Right.
What's that one?
I'll tell you in a second. Hold on. So I'm keeping the vinyls. I will bench the cassette. I used to love my TDKs, my TDK 60s and my TDK 90s, gold ones. I used to love my Sony Walkman, putting in my cassette tapes into my Sony Walkman. I used to love all that. I used to think I was well cool with a Sony Walkman when I was younger. And for me, yeah, all for the young kids of nowadays, they all know CDs, so I'm benching it. I'm going to sell the CDs because they all know about CDs nowadays. So, David, welcome. Nice to see you, mate.
Good night, guys.
Graham's asked a question. It's a keep, bench, and sell. It's the vinyl, the cassette tape, or the CD?
Got to keep the vinyl because it's coming back in. It never goes out. And, yeah, it's awesome. Cassettes, no. Had to re-splice cassettes many a time and, you know, with the pen trying to untangle it. And, yeah, sell the CDs.
So he's gone the same route as me. And it's quite interesting because Ryan G is saying, keep CDs, I've never heard of the other two.
Very old.
Yeah. Graham is saying that he would keep the vinyl, he'd bench the cassettes, the good old mixtapes, and he'd sell the CD. Exactly the same route that David and myself have gone. So, right, me too, Ryan. So James, a Tottenham fan, hasn't heard of the other two. He hasn't heard of vinyl or the cassette tapes.
Google
How old are these guys? Jesus.
Google it, Ryan.
So there we go. So that answers that because people in the chat don't know what we're talking about, which is quite interesting.
What are you eating, Jose? Grapes, sweets?
Grapes, yeah, grapes.
Lovely.
Yeah.
You know, you got me going because I've got 2 bags of raisins in the cupboard. You know what I mean? So...
raisins are just, to me, are just dried grapes. So, right. So, moving on to the next question that we got, and then we'll swiftly come round again. It's simple one from James, and it's an answer. Would you rather have Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland?
What, over for lunch? Or what?
I think he means in your team, mate. Come on. Who wants to go first, Mbappe or Haaland?
I'll
go Haaland.
Haaland?
Oh, you
why,
go
why, why Haaland?
Because he seems like more of a team player, not as divisive as what Mbappe seems like, and Mbappe just prices himself out of the market, and I don't think he'd be good for team chemistry. He'll never come into the Premier League. He'd always have to go to like your Barcelona or your Real Madrid that are prepared to pay the price. Well, that answers the question, doesn't it, Chris?
That's all going to change with all the new FFP and, you know.
Yeah.
It's
I don't want him anywhere near Barcelona.
In future, they won't be paying it, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Chris, what say you, Chris? Mbappe or Haaland?
I think that the Nords are, from my experience anyway, they're more genuine. This guy's been groomed to be, not in that sense, he's been groomed to be PR friendly. He knows what to say, when to say it. And as David just alluded to, he's more divisive. And I don't want him anywhere near any of my teams that I support, which are Spurs and Barcelona. Nowhere near, because he's going to dry the coffers. Like, he's just going to take us for every penny that we've got. And no way I want a player like that. I want a player that wants to be at my club. I don't want a player that wants the money that my club has, you know. And Mbappe is a geezer that goes after your money, and I don't want him anywhere. I want him to go to Real Madrid and to cause rifts in the dressing room over there. As a Barcelona fan, that's what I want. I want it to explode, implode. I want it to plode. I want it to ode. I want everything odious over there.
I think Haaland's got. I mean, I've seen Haaland drift out of games. I've seen when we've marked him out of games at Spurs and all that. But his end of season record in goal tally is always second to none. It doesn't happen often that he doesn't score, does it? And his ceiling is frightening. What he could turn into is just absolutely frightening. Mbappe's exciting to watch when he's on song, like in the World Cup, and he scored them goals and that. But how many goals? I mean, how's his strike rate compared with Haaland? You know,
it's amazing. It's amazing. It's like 180 something goals in 230 games or something. It's something stupid as well.
What's that? Mbappe or Haaland?
Yeah, Mbappe.
All right. Well, that is much better than. See, this is it. I don't follow too much film. This is much higher than I thought. But as you said, I don't like the idea. It was the same with managers like with me with Conte and Mourinho and all that. I don't like the idea of these so-called super galactic players that think they're bigger than your football club. I hate them. And I hate managers like that as well.
Same.
Not because we're all going to be around when you're gone, mate. And when you're retired, you're screaming to get on some talk show so you can still keep your head in the limelight, you know? I don't like those type of players. Haaland, to me, just never met the guy. Of course, look at him. He seems to have the right demeanour, the right temperament and all that. I don't know much about Mbappe, but I'd be harshly rejected to call him a flash so-and-so, but that's the way his PR is not good. That's the way he comes across to me, like, you know, so he might not be. I could be totally wrong, but no, Haaland for me.
Yeah, for everything that you three guys have said, I'm in agreement. It'd be Haaland. I just think that Mbappe is too much trouble, too much baggage, too much entourage, too much everything. It'd split camps straight away. It's not for me. I'd rather just go with Haaland. And Haaland has a better goal scoring record. And what Tottenham are crying out for at the moment, we keep saying, is a striker who can score goals. Well, he certainly can do that. So, for me, I'm going to keep Haaland. Now, I've got a question starred from Graham. And I'm going to leave it for the time being, Graham, because what I wanted to talk about, is Adrian. Adrian gets the stage for 5 minutes. Tell us about FFP, Adrian. What you were alluding to. I've seen you put some stuff in the chats and stuff like that. So what was you going to say about FFP?
Post-dual, Sean Butler's more the financial whiz than I am, although I do follow it. You know, I did study accounts and stuff years and years ago. The club at present are about they've seemed to have reduced their debt down to about 671 million, which since 2019, when the stadium opened, and we were told it was over $1 billion or whatever, that's some drop. The club have made a loss of 87 million, but that 87 million was, don't forget, this is from the 2022-23 season, June, right, season. And we turned over 549 million and still made a loss, but that's down to stadium depreciation and it's rising costs and players as well. And I'm not, so you need to go through the ins and outs of probably as a 50 or 60 page report. Take some doing, if you want to find things. I mean, so anyway, we made a 24% increase in turnover in that season, but our costs rose by 21%. That's total costs overall. So it virtually cancelled itself out. Levy gave himself a £3 million rise or something on his 3. I know fans, I'm not a Levy fan, but I ain't moaning about that. If he was a captain of industry, he'd get a lot more for the turnover of the size club of this side anyway. So that doesn't bother me. There are enough arguments why we can dislike Levy on the footballing side without conflating every other thing that comes up, whether it's building hotels, which are always in the picture. The hotel's been part of the planning and the other bits in that, So we haven't got no naming rights on the stadium, which would cover it. I was working it out that with that 670 million that were in debt, we paid that off. If it was a 25-year mortgage in 19 years, we'd have to pay off just under £32 million a year, plus the interest on that 32 million. So, and our interest rates are pretty good. They're about 2.5% or something like that. So the club is healthy financially, as far as I'm concerned, because we can generate more revenue if we sell the likes of Celso, Gill, Spence, Roden, Tanganga, and others that are made. Hoiberg, right? We should be able to bring in about 60, 70 million. Oh, well, you don't have to bring the money in here. As long as you've got it on your books, you can go to a bank and borrow money to get more players in. Plus also, it's a question of how you service that debt, how you amortize that debt and reduce it. Now, in the summer, I want Ange back, so even means if we have to increase the debt load. Not so it's unsustainable, but we need to know how much of that 549 million that year we did spend money on players. So we'll still be able to do it this year. We'll still be able to spend money on players this year. I mean, it doesn't mean because we lost 86 million on paper that, it is a loss. It's not fraud. They're not fraudulent accounts. They have to be done right for FFP and, So as far as I'm concerned, we should still, I want Ange backed in the summer. I want 4 players in the summer window. He said it would take 3 windows. I want 4 in. Whether one of them's a kid or not, I don't know. But, so the club's sustainable. We're well within FFP. We could actually go out and spend 250 million. We're not going to spend that sort of money. I'd like to talk to Sean about this. You should try and get him on, actually. Let him talk about it. He probably will be invited on loads of shows to do exactly that. And we'll be able to go and watch them or watch his blogs. Because Sean Butler knows his stuff. Right? So, yeah. So, no, we're a sustainable club. My concern is we need to strike while we can spend the money. If we could spend 250 million and we had it, would Levy spend it? I doubt it. Right? I doubt he would spend it. And I don't know how this overlaps from year to year. Will we lose this advantage we've got on the amount we can spend as each passing season goes by? Will that figure then drop? Because I know there's 2 things that the Premier League are talking about. They're talking about introducing an American-style, they call it tax, which they've got in baseball and all that. If clubs overspend, they get fined and stuff like that, and that money goes to the other teams in the league, goes to your rivals, things like that. And they're talking about coming in line with UEFA, who at the moment you can spend 90% of your revenue streams on players' wages, blah, 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 and all that's going to be reduced to 70% to make clubs more sustainable, which is what I want. I'm happy there will be a football regulator. I hope after a general election over here, we still get one, because we've had one club go bust in Bury in the lower leagues, but we've had a lot of clubs in our leagues that have been threatened with administration. Usually, though, the tax money you're coming through, and now they're after them again and again. And this has got to stop. And if it means that the transfer market continues to go in a period of deflation it is now, and players' wages get dropped and agents' fees get dropped, I will scream from the highest rooftop, cheer. I will cheer it. I will cheer it, because football will be safer. It'd be more sustainable. It'd be too much of it. And it will create a bit more of a level playing field as well. So overall, like, look, we're in a good position. We can go out and buy players. This loss doesn't mean we can't buy players, right? We could add to, and don't forget also to add on to that, that is for 22-23. I know next year's accounts probably won't be as good because we had no European football money and TV money and advertising from them coming from those games. Yeah, it won't be as good. I don't expect next year's results to be good, but
we had Beyonce.
Yeah, coming forward to this transfer window in the summer. Don't forget, we've also got all this season ticket money coming in as well. It's coming. I mean, I've renewed my season ticket. You know,
an extra 2 million.
Yeah, and the extra, yeah.
Right, so I've got a couple then, Adrian.
Go on.
I've got a question for you, but before I ask that question, yeah, you're quite right. We've got the gate receipts from this year to come. Some of the players that we bought last year was after the 30th of June, so they're going to count towards this year's financials. But then so will Harry Kane. Because the Harry Kane sale will come into this year's financials as well.
Yeah, my argument with Levy is that 3 million they're going to get the extra 2.5 and 3 million, right? We could have had concessions for old people like me. We could have had concessions for the young kids, the future generations.
Yes.
You consider, what was Harry Kane's wages? 16 million a year? 20 million a year? What was his wages? So just cutting his wages off the bill. Why are we penalising the older generation?
Yeah, but it's not just his wages. You got Hugo Lloris's wages, Eric Dyer's wages. You've got other people's wages as well.
I don't know when Hugo's wages.
I think it's 500,000 a week off the books, wasn't it?
Hugo's will come off. Hugo's comes off in this financial year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Up until the 30th of June, and so did Dyer's, and so did Kane's.
The reason Spurs are well within FFP is simply because FFP, you know, the sustainability rules boil down to money you buy players for, their wages, agents' fees, and money you have that you owe on outstanding transfers. Anything you do around the club with giving infrastructure, whether it's building hotels, maintenance on the stadium, Women's Super League, Women's Training Ground, the Spurs Training Ground, and all that, which I think there's money going to be earmarked for all of that. Right? That doesn't count as your spend for a FFP or profit sustainable rules, so you're safe. But I'm not a final expert on this. I've just been trying to read between the lines. So what
I'm going to ask you now, Adrian. Right?
Yeah, go on.
Right. Sorry, just before I ask you the question, Graham, listen, I ain't got no work because I'm off this week. Chris is not in a rush. I don't think Adrian's in a rush.
No.
And for David, it's early in the morning. So we will answer your question. I just wanted to ask the FFP question before we answered yours. So we will answer your question because he's saying it's not a 5-minute one to answer. And I'm just saying, well, we got time, so we can answer it in a minute. With the FFP, I'm sorry, gents, I just wanted to clarify some things. With the FFP, do you think we're still in a good position? Because to me, this is my own opinion, is that with the Premier League wanting to change the rules in the summer, again, on FFP and make it more like the European one, have we missed the boat that we definitely had in the winter transfer window? Have we missed the boat this summer because of the rules changing, in your opinion?
No, we could still spend big. I think I read a report a few months ago. It said that before this financial report was done, that Spurs were in a good position. They could go out and spend it. Actually, quote a figure of 276 million. So even if you said it was 150 million, we're not going to spend that. And whether you're Levy in, Levy out, or Levy don't care or whatever, this football club cannot afford to keep going out and spending 100 million each year. We've spent over £600 million on players, right, since the stadium opened. That's 2019. We've bought some players that haven't done it, and we end on belly. Davison Sanchez. You could say Lo Celso. You could say.
Well, there's 100 million right there with those two.
Yeah, well, you're nearly up to 200, aren't you? And over that, probably
with those three, so most definitely.
People seem to forget the wages as well. They seem to forget that.
Yeah.
Well, they think when we sell Kane for 86 million, we're going to Bayern Munich go here. Here's 86 million. It doesn't work out like that. The fee is usually amortized over the length of the player's contract. It can be paid up earlier. So if Kane's on a 5-year, he might be on 4 because of his age. I don't know. Then they'll pay us that. But it doesn't matter because as long as you can show that money on your books, if you want to go to your bank, Spurs use Rothschild, and say, look, can we have 60 million off you? They'll do it. They want the interest because we want it to buy players. Or where are you going to get the money? You're going to pay us back and say, well, Bayern have got to. They go, fine, here's the money. So that's the way I see it. If Sean Butler was to contradict me on anything, so I'd go with him rather than me. But I mean,
thanks, Aidan.
That's the way I read it. We're investors.
4-year. Harry's on a 4-year.
4-year. And investors, which is what they're looking for, rather than, and that's not easy anyway, investors, because and even getting a buyer, because Spurs have got lots of minority shareholders. Although ENIC owns like a large chunk of the club, I think there's either 13,000 or 30,000 shareholders or something. So if you get an investor in, they've got to
approve them. They've got to approve them as well.
They've got to approve them. So and the thing with that nowadays, it's very hard to get any richly come in that won't upset someone's political sensitivities, right? Political correctness and whatever, or where they're from. You know, is this a and most billionaire companies have probably all got a bit of a dodgy background as far as I'm concerned. So,
every billionaire's got skeletons in their closets.
You heard it here first on El Tel Cockerel live.
Clear our debt. I'd love it. I've always wanted investment. Even I'll take new owners, right?
Yeah.
But fans have got to realise you're not. Even if the club was sold, you're not getting rid of Daniel Levy. I don't mean if he stays or chairman or not. And you're not getting rid of ENIC, and you're not getting rid of Alan Sugar. Because even when Sugar sold the club, he knew he was on a good thing by keeping a chunk of shares. Levy's not going to give up his shares in Tottenham that easy, and neither are ENIC. They would still keep a sizable chunk. So someone buys your club, it's like anything, they need at least 51% of you, don't they?
Well, they're not going to sell 25%, are they?
I don't understand. This is what I need to ask Sean about the Jim Ratcliffe thing at Man United.
Yeah.
He bought about 25% or something. I don't know.
Yeah, 25%.
Yeah,
25 of the footballing side. Yeah,
but he's got an option, hasn't he?
I don't know, but your owners can turn around. He's obviously with that 25%. He'll have something written in contractually to protect it, to keep his say or whatever it is. Because otherwise, if you own 25%, where does that give you the big voting right or the big shout?
Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't. If he's invested the money and said he'd have to have something in writing on that. I'd want something in writing on that if it was me.
Did he have to sell Nice to get that stake?
I don't know.
Because isn't there some sort of clause or ruling that you can't have two teams?
Oh yeah, because
you can't own two teams. It's like foreign ownership over here on your TV rights. That's why you guys got Rupert Murdoch.
Then you could be in legal technicality.
Yeah.
Well, he's only got a stake of Man United. He doesn't own it.
Yeah.
Whereas they own Nice. Apparently,
they
might sell Nice. I don't know. They might. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because we were interested in a Jean-Claire Todibo in Nice, but as they're connected with Man United, if he leaves there, he'll probably go there.
Yeah. So I'm definitely Levy out, but you've got to take your hat off to how he has.
Oh no, I'm no fan of Levy. What they tried to do with the Super League.
That's right. I'm in the same boat. You've got to take your hat off to him, but he's got to turn around and back Ange to a certain extent. We can't go out and get $100 million players, marquee player. I don't want $100 million marquee player upsetting the cart. You know,
I think the days of big.
I'd rather two really good young.
Be the last one for a long while. Mbappe might be the last one for a long while.
Yeah.
Just one
So my question is the FFP, is that because we missed the boat? You know, we talk about the wage bill and everything. We missed the boat of getting a salary cap back in 1992, which would have helped a lot of clubs. And it's a great equalisation, so the same clubs aren't always winning. Do you reckon this is the form of salary cap, the FFP, to bring back control with these clubs?
Well, the words are financial fair play or profit sustainability. It's because, right, the Premier League is a bit like the old Wild West, the way things have gone on over these years with Abramovich and all that.
Premier League's the only one making money. Europe and that aren't making money. They're all broke, aren't they?
Well, COVID did them no favours. It didn't do clubs over here any favours. Spurs had to help them, but that didn't help. That, you know, and then if you're not playing games, you know, you think teams like Chris's other team, Barcelona, they probably get more money in TV money than they do off bums and seats in the ground, and that stadium holds 100,000 or whatever it is. You know, and they get more money, you know, than out of ticket sales and anything else. So, and they get a bigger share of their TV money as well.
Yeah.
But the whole point of that it was that with this European Super League is they wanted to break the Premier League stranglehold on world football. And they tried to do that by saying every club that becomes a member will get 300 million. Well, that would have helped Juventus, Barcelona, and Real Madrid out immensely. Those sums of money would have helped them immensely. And eventually the fans here, no, we're not having no risk football. We're not having American, no jeopardy, relegation and stuff like that. We're not going down that road, right? Fans wouldn't have it over here. And now we get a football regulator coming in this country who says they won't interfere too much. They said only step in if they have to, like when the Premier League can't agree how much money should go to the lower leagues, which I believe should be supported. And they do take a bigger chunk. And when these clubs in the Premier League get more money, what happens? It goes to agents and players usually, doesn't it? Or an inflated transfer fee. So I'm all for controls. The less the regulator steps in, the better. But just having a regulator there will keep them, you know, it will focus minds. When they have these meetings, decide what to do with money and rules, it will focus minds. Because even, you know,
it's keeping Manchester City in check, isn't it?
Well, they've got their charges. Chelsea haven't been charged yet. Forest and Everton may receive charges.
I reckon they'll be looking at Arsenal too.
And it won't. And if they soften all the rules, we know. Say they do it before Man City's case comes up next autumn. If they do it before then, we know that Man City are going to scream, "Oh, well, you've changed the rules, so like as you soften the rules, we shouldn't be punished this much in the other and all that." No.
And then the likes of Nottingham and Everton,
Forest and Everton have been punished. So you can't do that. But whether they do, Man City are in deep, and Chelsea have admitted financial irregularities. Now, when you do that in your accounts, this is if people question Spurs accounts, don't, they will be genuine, right? If you don't, so it means basically they've posted fraudulent accounts before Chelsea. The Guardian did a big article recently about it on top of what it is. Money's coming in from offshore companies or dodgy Abramovich companies to finance things. Well, one of the chief, a woman was given something $7.5 million to purchase a house in London and things like that. And they're digging deeper and they're finding more and more and more. You know, I think he used it to launder money personally, Abramovich. Don't walk away. You do not walk away from a club that's, I don't know, 3-4 billion without a penny in your pocket, without putting a fight. If the government hasn't got things on you. Now, the government always sit on dodgy characters in this country, whether it's in sport or any other things, right? They'll move against them when it suits them, when it's political, expedient to do so. They'll move against these people. He left without a fight. What does it tell you? Abramovich left without a fight, right? To give up all that money, his club, even if it was in secured loans or unsecured loans, it probably was in unsecured loans. At the end of the day, if you wanted to get stroppy, you got to bankrupt the club to get the money back. So that told me they had that much on him, being one of Putin's mates. I've actually said, look, you either go or you're going to prison. That's what I reckon's happened with him. But he went without a whimper. Without a whimper. So, yeah. Yeah, so what we've gone off track.
What you've got, Graham saying, rightly or wrongly, football is part of the entertainment industry. To be successful, It therefore has to be run as a business. It's just the way of the world. And Ben is saying regulators should be regulating ticket prices, train tickets, and airline companies abusing fans' loyalties.
Yeah, I mean, like,
And in so many ways, I mean, with the fixturing and the momentum breaks, all these friendlies and everything, it's not serving the fans right. I mean, we'd rather watch our clubs play than watch some stupid friendly versus Timbuktu or something.
Well, you got that in August, and they'll probably do well, Levy, one of his usual things, because we're playing Bayern Munich, and the transfer window will be in full swing, and fans will be desperate to see a game because the transfer window's 3 months and you got the Euros, so they'll always buy. And the tickets on sale now. They emailed me, I can buy 4 tickets for adults at 30 quid each for Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
normal ticket price is about 70. My season ticket's £1,291 or something, right? So
and with the cost of everything else going up, it's getting harder, isn't it, Adrian?
And I bet your life the drink and food prices are go up inside the stadium as well, and they're not cheap. Over £6 a pint or more, so they'll probably go up to about £7 a pint, and everything else like that. I mean, but so as an example, I use the Kane as an example. His wages, right? The amount he's got. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that to the old people. In fact, if they wanted good PR, they could have made concessions for under 18s.
Yeah.
Cheaper. Because when you consider it, right, another thing Levy didn't like, right? I know Ben will probably be interested in this. We have to, under Premier League rules, different for cup rules, allow 3,000 fans from the club that's coming away to play you to come in your stadium. But they only pay £30 for their tickets. That's a fixed price, right? I'm paying 70, they're paying 30. Now, I'm not against good fans who loyally support their club. If they're coming from Newcastle to come down to play Spurs, them getting in cheaper because they've got all their travelling costs, hotel costs, and all that. And those fans have to put up enough crap when the TV companies decide to change the time of the game, the day of the game, and they lose their hotel fees, their travelling expenses, or whatever. Now, I just think it's an absolute disgrace. But I try to keep calm about all this. There are others out there get more excited about it than I do. But no, I am no.
Well, look at Phil P as an example. He's generational. He's got 3 generations, and he loves going to the football with his grandfather and father and his kids. So there's 4 generations. How can he afford a 4 time? With the concession costs and that. That's where it's disgusting.
You can't.
I mean, all these older people have paid all their taxes all their lives. Why can't they have a little bit of a break?
Because it's
all take break, isn't it? That's what I'm getting at.
It's a business, isn't it? I've got mates here who say when they do these general sale tickets, it used to be the FA Cup when the tickets were 25 quid. I bet they'll go up to 30 because if that Bayern Munich friendly's £30 a ticket, whereas the League Cup games and the FA Cup games are always like 25. They do family deals like cheaper and all that, 2 adults 20 quid each and 2 kids at 10 each or something like that. But
I know it's a different sport.
Can't afford to go. They live in Edmonton. I live in Edmonton, a mile and a half from the stadium. And say, hey, any chance of getting me a ticket? I want to go experience the stadium and all that. I'll see what I can do. Sometimes I've got them tickets. Other times I can't. I go, no, they're all sold out, mate. Sorry. So yeah.
Well, I know
for our future generation, the legacy of Spurs fans left behind. But maybe the people who've got more money that can afford to go, right? Maybe they'll sing and shout just as loud as, us working class that grew up in the area and followed the same.
And you know what the club will say to you, Adrian? They'll say, we've provided a beautiful stadium for you guys to go. That's what our contribution to you is.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's when you talk about season ticket holders like me that don't want to lose my season ticket, you're talking 42,000 season ticket holders, right? 8,000 corporate, that's 50,000. 3,000 for the away fans, that's 53,000. They're virtually guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
Then it's only 62,850, so that gives you 9,850 tickets that go on not ticket exchange. You've got,
and then you got the waiting list.
Plus and Spurs 1 Plus. The 1 Plus play an extra £5, they go on the season ticket list. Which, when I first joined the stadium, when it first opened, we had 170,000 on that list. It might be 90,000 now, I don't know, right? So, and they go on a Monday, they'll go and sell to the 1+ members. On a Tuesday, they'll still go on to sell to the 1+, but ordinary 1+ members as well. And then the tickets go. I mean, you know, if there are empty seats, I don't know. It's because, I don't know, people could make it the last month.
Well, over here, Adrian, you know where Spurs played West Ham? That stadium cost 1.7 billion Australian dollars, and it was based on Tottenham Hotspur's, like the lighting and everything. Well, that was done by a lot of taxpayer money. Now, on top of that, it costs a family probably $300 for mum, dad, and 2 kids, and that's without food to get there.
Yeah, they don't.
Now, you guys talking travel. That stadium is 8 hours away from where I live.
All right. Yeah.
So on top of charging taxpayers to pay for the stadium, they're charging top premium prices.
Well, that's what we're being charged. The fans are being charged. The fans are being used to help finance the club debt, basically. Because
damn straight.
They're looking at every avenue to increase revenue streams. They haven't done it with the naming rights yet.
Well, see, that's cricket also had played at that stadium. It's a beautiful stadium. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
And what Ali Gold was saying about that was, Spurs aren't in a hurry for stadium rights, because I think if we had naming rights, we wouldn't be picked for one of the stadiums in, is it 2000?
Well, it's called Offside already, which is a telecommunication company.
2028 or something. We wouldn't pick for that, but they found, by just it being known as the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it's helped promote Spurs on the map and enhance their global image, because with the NFL games being played there and all the concerts there, instead of it called the Nike Stadium, it doesn't give you a sense of like area. Oh, it's just in London. But as it's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it puts Tottenham more on the map. So that's what I'm hearing. So how beneficial that is, it must be if they've not got, because Todd Klein was supposed to sort all this out while he was getting deals for Cinch and Getter and doing all the commercial stuff, because he got the biggest NFL deal, didn't he? I think it was the Dolphins in America or something, Miami Dolphins or whatever. And he's now left to join Chelsea. But he obviously, you know, he would have earned his money on the commercial side. He wasn't just brought in for a naming rights, obviously. His job, you know, so, yeah. So, no, financially, guys, the club's sustainable. It's fine. We have an opportunity to strike in the summer while we can spend. Will Levy do it? Well, I don't think. You know, I'm a long-suffering Spurs fan who's been fortunate enough to see us experience 14 of our 17 trophies, so I'm luckier than most nowadays. But do I think he would do it? I don't think, with player sales that could bring in anything from 50 to 100 million in.
You're spot on, Spurs, GC.
Yeah,
Right.
Plus, there will be. Even in the losses declared, you know, I don't know the exact figure that we went out and spent on players. We know we spent 600 million, over 600. It might be 600. I don't know what it is. It's 600 million from 2019 to now. So that's like 120 million a year, isn't it? I'm not sure. Was it?
I wish someone like Lucas Moura had stuck around for an extra 12 months playing under the Ange system. I don't reckon we should have let him go. I thought he was a good little player. Just without Harry Kane being the focal point, I think he would have come on.
So you've got, I suppose a bit I can't understand is when people say Levy is more about the money than winning trophies. It's a contradiction in terms, as success would generate more revenue. And then Spurs GCCB says, I'm not defending the ownership, I just don't get the logic sometimes from fans. I'm just the middle of the road guy who will stand back, look at the bigger picture and see both sides of an argument.
See,
then
I'm
you've
not
got,
bothered as Levy is about
hold on, let me just catch up with this. Yeah, hold on. Ben saying prices are going up, but wages are not. There will be no local fans going to games soon.
Right.
Ben is saying football tickets should be capped at 50 quid. It's a working class game, and cap the players' wages and transfer fees, and prices then can fall. And then you've
What
got
happened?
James is
I've got
off.
one thing to say with that though. If it's capped at £50 and that, you're not going to have your $2 billion stadiums. So
It won't happen.
it's just the way of the
Because-
world. Like our grand final, there's 100,000. There's 100,000 that go to the grand final, right? Only 50,000 of that, I might be wrong. 50,000 of that are the fans of the two participating teams. So 25,000, and some of these clubs have got small fry, but say 150,000 members. All the rest is corporate.
Mm.
So it's gone far
finals.
away from the working class game. That's what I'm getting at, and it is a damn shame.
Yeah. Right. On another note,
this is why for Levy is so determined to get Champions League football because of the money it brings in. I don't particularly care because I know we're not going to win it, right? Even with new recruits, we'd have to get some, keep these standing recruiting we've done recently to have a chance if we're in it. But you're going to get 8 games as group games instead of 6, and you're not dropping down to Europa League next season. And there's 4 leagues and 9 teams and all that, or whatever it is, right? So they're going to play.
I'd rather play Europa League.
I would. It doesn't bother me as long as we're in Europe, as long as we're not in the Europa Conference. Europa League would do me, right? I'm not fussed.
Because then we'd see our young players getting a go, more of the squad players getting a go, not the first 11. It'll be shared around.
I think the tickets would be cheaper if we're in the Europa League to go and watch games. I think we'll be. Although I don't like playing Thursdays and Sundays. I like the traditional Saturday games. You know?
It's tough, the Europa League. Look at the teams that are in it. Someone showed us there's some damn fine teams that are playing in the Europa League, let alone the Champions League.
Yeah, there's a reason they're in that league, though, isn't there? It's because they haven't done it in their own league. So you'll have a lot of traditionally big name teams in the Europa League that aren't quite as good as their name is at the present day. And that would include us if we were in it, right? So, I mean, but, you know.
But hopefully the lights at Alfie Devine and that will come through and be able to play a little bit more. Although apparently he's gone off the boil a little bit at
he got sent off at the weekend.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I think they will come through.
It's his first start for a while.
See Barrington have a crack, and that Sun Bell was the other one you were thinking of, Chris.
Sun Suk Bell, we got for Chelsea.
His first,
he seems a really promising prospect, you know.
He got sent off the other day, David, and it's the first time that he started a game for a few weeks because he'd been dropped to the subs bench, and the manager was sacked after the game.
Was he really?
Yeah, and he's the manager that bought Phillips and Devine because he was a manager for England in the youth setup, and he got sacked after the game.
Wow.
And Plymouth are now 1 place off the relegations. Plymouth were like mid-table climbing, and then in the last 6 weeks, all their results have fallen off a cliff. They're now 1 point. They're 1 place above the relegation zone.
Golly.
So what? The Plymouth manager got the sack. Jose.
Sorry. Yeah. They got the sack after the game after their loss. He got the sack.
Right. The interesting thing about the pathway, guys, if again this fact is true, right? Now, under Premier League rules,
James.
We have to have 8 homegrown players, and maybe Chris might know a bit more about this, and you're allowed 17 foreign quota players, right? But and that's fine because the rules are slightly different in Europe to they are here. When you're in Europe, 4 of those 8 homegrown players have to be academy trained. Now, I got this of Ali Gold. He was saying that's why they might give Brandon Austin another year's contract at the end of the year. Well, he's 24, England under 21 goalkeeper. He was going to kick on. We'd have heard a lot more about him now, and we haven't. The other one, Alfie Whiteman. You've only got 4 other players that were academy trained. You've got Skip, Sessignon, Tanganga is out on loan, and who am I missing?
Scarlett?
No, Parrott.
Well, that's Scarlett.
Troy Parrott's 22 now, right?
He's 22. Sar's academy trained.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between being academy trained in your country and academy trained when you're abroad. This is the thing.
He started.
This was an Ali Gold podcast I've got, so I'm not saying he's right all the time. You might be right in what you're about to say, where you're going to contradict it. Like, if that's the case, I hope that is a case that is academy trained, because I don't know how many our under 21s are younger, and I think you have to do the 3 years before your 21st birthday.
And Sar's done the 3 years before his 21st.
No, he'll count as homegrown for the Premier League next year. I'm not sure if he counts as homegrown for Europe next year under their system.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean? So if that's true, that's a good thing. If that Europe rule is different, right, I think that's a good thing, because it means we can get rid of 2 of those 6 I mentioned. I mean, Tanganga is going to go anyway, right? That leaves you with a 4 for next season. But coming up, that's why I would like to see Parrott brought into the first team squad next year, not loaned out, because he could be one of those 4 if it is that rule, and we can get rid of Sessegnon, Tanganga, one of them goalkeepers, whatever. And then the following season, more of our under 21s will have qualified for it. Because while they're under 21s, I think you can have them on your books anyway. You can have them listed anyway. So
how old's Donnelly?
Donnelly. 19. 19. He played for the under 19s, didn't he? Well, no, he played for the under 20s, so he's 19. Him and Scarlett are both 19.
He's got such a good killer ball on him. Now, he came from Northern Ireland as a striker, and Wayne Bird has converted him into more of a number 10. He's got such a killer pass on him, vision.
Yeah. And Lancashire seems to have really come on leaps and bounds too.
Lancashire was at Arsenal at 16 or something. He left Arsenal at 16. He went to Sheffield, and we paid $3 million. This was unheard of. We paid $3 million for him from Sheffield as a 17-year-old. £3 million for a 17-year-old, right? That's how highly our recruitment team rated him. Right? Yeah. So
because Donnelly and that, they all seem to play really well and connect well with one another. And that's what we're missing in our first team.
Well, there's 2 points top of the under 21s league with 2 games in hand. So like they're flying. West Ham are below us, just below us, I think. So they're flying now.
So you got Nick.
I reckon Nicky Hazard saying that when he come on, and the reason why you haven't got the 18-year-olds, coming in like start unless you're Foden and Bellingham, is because they used to play in the old reserves team, and you had a lot of professionals that were coming back from injury, so they were getting fast-tracked a lot more than what they are now.
Yeah, because there's more money in the game now, and clubs can go and buy players. This is why a lot of the young continental youngsters get game time. Then clubs aren't as rich; they can't go out and buy all of them. So when you're on these little like Scandinavian leagues and other leagues, I don't know what's like in the Spanish leagues or the Italian league and all, but these clubs, they will play the youngsters. So really, they develop them for bigger clubs to come and cherry pick if they think they're good enough. I mean, we've got Vaskovic coming in the end of next year, the centre back who's out in Poland now. We've got Lucas Bergvall coming in. We've gone out and set them up. We've got all these good youngsters they're good prospects. You never know. You don't know if they're going to make it. I think they'll all have careers in football, but at what level, who knows, right?
Well, you think Bergvall, if he's playing for the Norway,
he does look a talent. He looks a talent.
Sweden.
Sorry, Jose.
You're watching the Eurovision Song Contest. Sweden.
You're going to put me in the naughty corner, Connor.
Right, sorry.
So I just hope there is that. Nick, what I've said means there is a pathway, that there is the European.
Yeah.
I haven't sourced it to double check it or anything. So
you've got Nick Collison's here. Good evening, Nick. How are you, mate? I hope you're well.
Nick.
And he's also saying, homegrown as it stands. It's Forster, Austin, Whiteman, Davis, Rodon, Tanganga, Sessegnon, Spence, Madison, Skip, Sard, Johnson, and Parrott.
Yeah, they are. They're all homegrown. It's a question if they qualify as homegrown under European rules. If there's a difference. If they've got to be academy trained, Spence wasn't academy trained, right? Rodon wasn't. He was bought, right?
Yeah, but don't they have to be just academy trained in this country?
This is the bit I'm not sure about.
Yeah, because I think it is 3 years.
Academy. It's going to be very hard.
Right. Star qualified, even though he did 3 years in France, because if you're
because of his age,
you're 17 and a half, coming up to 18th birthday and you do 3 years, because you're registered with Spurs, like Sarr did in France, he counts as academy trained and homegrown under Premier League rules. I don't know. This is the grey area. I don't know if he's classed as academy trained under European rules. And when you go and look
Is
it up,
Destiny in the same rule?
it's a bit vague. It's not clear. Sorry?
Destiny in that same rule, or was he African? Come from the African?
No,
No,
who?
we bought him at
Destiny.
19. He was never going to do 3 years before he was 21.
Yeah,
No, yeah,
We bought him at 19, didn't we?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
It's only been 2 seasons.
And then we let
I'm
him
showing
go.
my ignorance here.
No. It's all. I mean, look, I'm ignorant. I go and look for anything about Spurs every day. I spend a
There
couple
you
of
go.
hours.
Yeah.
And he's look, association trained. It's Forster, Davis, Rodon, Sess, Spence, Phillips, Madison, and Johnson.
Yeah, okay. So that encompasses the other academies, in other words.
And then club trained. It's Austin, Whiteman, Tanganga, Skip, Parrott.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, because I've got Graham wants to go to
I
sleep.
think you put Sessignon on that list because he came in. We got Sessignon at what? He was we paid 25 million when he was about 17, didn't we, Sessignon?
Just before we carry on, I just want to. Graham's going to bed, right?
Yeah.
And he wants to know. I was going to tell people. I'm not updated the tables, but I can tell you how many points people scored this week. And Graham wants to know before he goes to bed.
Yeah, so do I.
Graham, you scored 7 points this week. That's not bad. It's a good effort. Does
What
anyone
I
else-
get, though,
if Ryan G's still here, Ryan G scored this week. Respectable 6 points for Ryan G.
I would have got about 2.
David Shear, you scored.
If it's live, don't broadcast it.
You scored 4.
I thought it was pretty low.
Do you want to know what you got, Chris?
I know what I got, mate.
What did you get?
He would have got about 12. The fix is in with you two.
8 points, I think.
You did. You scored 8 points.
Well done, Chris.
Adrian, do you want to know what you scored?
Probably 3.
Adrian got 57, like his chances on this show.
Adrian was joint top scorer this week.
Really?
Adrian got 11 points.
Oh, really?
He got 2 correct scores and 5 correct predictions.
Well done. Well done.
Adrian got the 1-0 with Burnley Wolves and he got the 2-0 for Arsenal Luton. But he also went for a home win for Forest, a home win for Bournemouth, a draw for Brentford Brighton. He went for Man City home win and Liverpool home win. So he scored 11 points.
So I've just
Yeah,
pissed
that's brilliant.
people.
And the
And
person
what do you get? What do you get, Jose?
6.
Oh, okay. The fix isn't in there.
I got 6 predictions. I didn't get 1 green. I got 6 oranges.
Don't call the lawyers
Smithy.
in, mate.
Smithy wants to know as well. Let me tell Smithy. Smithy, you got 4 points.
Well done.
Woohoo! Smithy. Same as me, mate.
So just to, I've been meaning to tell the guys. I don't know who else is in here that plays predictions, but
What
I just
Ben
thought-
get with his crazy? I bet
Jesse's
you
still
Ben
here.
did well.
Hold on, Jesse's still here. Jesse scored.
Hey, Jesse.
Right, Jesse's just trying to find her. Jesse scored. Jesse got 3 points this week.
No, not bad. Come on. Well,
There's one person that got 1. We've got a few people that got 2s as well. But the highest scorers this week, there's 2 people on joint 11 points, and that's Adrian and one other. The one other is not in the
Jimbo.
chat.
What did Jimbo get?
The people that are not in the chat, I'm not going to give away their scores today. I can only give the people that are here at the
Yeah,
moment.
you're going to have another show, of course. Yeah.
So if people want to know now, I can let them know now, but I can't. I won't be telling people. I'll tell people tomorrow. So 4 o'clock
11,
tomorrow.
11 points, Adrian. That's got to move you up the ladder.
I haven't done the tables yet. It's just
Yeah.
so much work. I've got.
I was just saying, that's really well done. Yeah.
I've got 60 results to input and update in the table. So yeah, it's a job for
Takes
tomorrow
time.
morning. It's not going to be today.
Takes time, Jose.
It certainly does. It certainly
Yeah.
does. But yeah, sorry, that was just only because Graham said he was going, and people were asking about the points, so I thought I'd give them their points. And some other news, right? what's his name? Lewis. Is that his name? Lewis? Joe Lewis? He didn't get sentenced. He got sentenced today, but he didn't get jail time.
No, he's too old.
He got a £4 million fine. Or the
Yeah,
equivalent to
he's
£4
too
million
rich.
fine.
He's too rich as well.
Back pocket money.
Yeah. His age and his health come into consideration. If it's going to cost you more money to put a guy in prison, then he's got to have carers and stuff like that. I mean, the guy's he's got to be 86 now, hasn't he?
Have you seen
But
the
that's what
photographs?
Wally Bolger him, didn't they?
Have you seen the photographs of when he turned up to court today?
Does he look fit?
No.
He had an eye patch. So he's got an eye patch now to cover up.
He had the oxygen cylinder.
I don't think he had the oxygen cylinder, but he had a big black mask as well.
See, over here, all the billionaires, they bring the oxygen cylinder with them in the wheelchair.
Sounds like quite a pirate.
Nicholas Collison said he looked really ill.
Yeah.
I've just seen the picture. He's got a black eye patch and he had a black mask on his face. But yeah, as I said, I only saw a picture. So,
well, through the solicitor in the Bahamas, all the ENIC, his stake in ENIC was passed over to his daughter through that Bahamas lawyer they've got, because ENIC are based out there as well. And Spurs have no fear of any comebacks over his other dealings, which are probably South America dealings.
Dodgy.
So then, right, I'm going to ask the question anyway. Graham's not here because I'm not going to save it for another show because I won't have it. Right, he's asked a question, and the question that he's asked is, you need to pick a first choice 11 from the current Premier League, but only one player can come from each team.
And is that an English?
Have you got a schematic you can put?
That English or as well as overseas players?
No, it's anyone that plays in the Premier League at the moment. You can pick a first 11, but you can only pick one from each team. So that means just a 1 to 11. So like, I don't know if you want to play a goalkeeper, right back, left back, centre back, but it can only be one from each team. So if you've picked the Man City player already, you can't pick another one.
Yeah.
So basically, you're picking from 11 out of 20 teams.
Jesus.
Right. What you want us to do? Will 11 off one go?
Yeah, go on. You just give us. If you know your 11, just give us your 11 for now.
I can rattle off a few. 11. Okay. Right. Vicario in goal for me. Right.
Okay, so that's the only Tottenham player you can pick.
Right back, Walker.
That's the only Man City player you can pick.
This is hard.
Saliba.
Saliba is one of your centre halves.
Stones.
Can't pick Stones, you pick Walker.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hey!
Now it gets tougher. Yeah. Saliba. Who else you put in there? Dunk
at Brighton.
He's a good player, that guy.
Left back. Sure.
Right, so you've got your keepers Vicario. You've got Walker.
Saliba, Dunk, Shaw.
Dunk, Shaw. That counts 5 of your teams out. You've got 15 more Premiership teams, and you can pick.
God, this isn't easy. Midfield, especially.
Are you picking up a 4 or a 4 in the midfield, or 5 in midfield and 1 attack, or a 4-4-2? How are you doing it? Or are you doing a 4-3-3?
It'll go according to the way I'm struggling, right? Now it's a struggle. I've done Arsenal, Man United, Man City, Spurs,
and Brighton.
So midfielders. Oh, damn.
Gibbs White.
Why not? Gibbs White.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. Thanks for the help.
You're right, buddy.
God. Have I done a West Ham?
No.
Ward-Prowse.
Okay. That's 7 players down. You got 4 to go.
You're doing well, mate.
All price. Midfield.
Oh shit! Hang on. What's his name?
This is a damn good question, Graham, too, by the way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sorted. Mine's in the chat.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, that's cheating. Don't do that to me. Right.
You can't have it, Chris. You're wrong.
Oh no! That's right. Oh god.
You can't have that. You're wrong.
I know where I've forwarded. Hang on. Wait, hang on. I'll be there in a minute.
You've got 2 players from Arsenal there. You've got 2 players from Tottenham there that I can see straight away.
Right.
I'm changing it.
My third midfield player,
Yeah.
Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
I've got some engine there, right? In that
Changing
midfield.
it a minute. Hang on.
Yeah. Go on then.
Hang on.
No, you carry on, Chris. Chris, I'm going to mute you, right? Because Adrian's having a go. You can't say, come on, hang on. We can hear you.
Right,
I've got to hear Adrian.
Up front.
You can't have Haaland.
No. How about Solanke? Have I got a Brentford player?
You have now.
No, Solanke is Bournemouth.
Oh, he is Bournemouth.
Ivan Toney.
You haven't got a Brentford player, though.
Tony
Ivan Toney.
from Brentford, yeah. Do you want Solanke from Bournemouth still?
Yeah. Only because I'm struggling to pick Watkins.
That's
at Villa.
10.
Watkins at Villa.
Okay. This is superb. Go
It's
on,
hard. It's hard when you try to build a team. I mean, my midfield will work the socks off. But
Okay, so I'm going to come to the chat soon, but I want to.
That's a good solid midfield, though.
But I want to give it to you, David. Who are you going for, Sam?
I'm going for Pickford from Everton.
Yeah.
As keeper. Van der Ven as one centre back.
Yeah.
I refuse to pick an Arsenal centre back, so I'll go. Oh,
Who's your right back? Who's your left back? Who's your centre back? How are you playing your team?
I'm playing 4-3-3.
Okay.
Left back, I'll go Zinchenko. So there's me Arsenal. Right back, even though he's injured, Reece James. So there's Chelsea.
Okay.
I've got another centre back to get, haven't I? The dude that we wanted from Fulham.
Adebayo.
Yeah, and I still reckon we should get him because he is a real threat with the corners.
6'5". He's 6'5".
So yeah, and he's got skill and a fair bit of pace about him.
He came out of the Man City Academy as well.
Yeah, no, I'd really, and I'd always pick him when I'm doing Footy Manager. Okay, midfield, Morgan Gibbs. No, not Morgan Gibbs. What?
You can have him. You don't have to. You can still have him.
No, because I've got another one from left field that I want.
I remember there's 20 Premiership teams, and you've got to pick 11 players.
Have you picked a
I know, but it's hard. So I've got Chelsea, so I can't go Conor Gallagher. Yeah, De Bruyne. Okay, we'll go De Bruyne. Thanks, mate. So we've got another 2. Have I got a Fulham player?
Yeah, you've got Tosin.
Tosin Adebayo.
That's right. So Souček.
Souček of West Ham.
Souček from West Ham.
Yeah.
I've got to quicken it up. Can I go forward and do my forwards now, and then I'll come back?
Yeah, you can do what you want. Yeah.
I want Ekanga on the right wing. I reckon he's a real
Elanga.
player.
Elanga?
Alanga, sorry.
Elanga.
And that's
Okay.
why I want Morgan Gibbs White, because he seems to really know how to look for our wingers. And that is what we desperately need.
Wouldn't mind him in the summer. We'll see.
I'll go Solanke as my striker.
Solanke.
And the left wing, I'll go Kulu, is it? Kudu. Oh, no, he's with them.
You got Suchek.
Yeah. I haven't got a Newcastle one. I'll go that young fellow with the white hair.
Isak?
Gordon.
Right, okay.
Now, in the midfield, I'll go. I've got 4. Oh, I haven't got a Brighton one. Gross from Brighton.
Oh, yeah. Pascal Gross.
Yep. God, he's had some goal contributions, hasn't he?
You've got 11.
Yep.
You've got 11 already. So I'm just picking mine.
It's hard.
Just got to fucking find a keeper as well now. Fuck me.
That's why I went Pickford, so I could get Van der Ven in.
Pickford. Right.
Ellison?
No, I can't because I've picked. I want to pick a Liverpool player, but I don't want it to be.
I'll tell you who's played really well this year. Kaminsky at Luton.
Kelleher.
No, I don't. I want to pick an outfield player for Liverpool. Hold on. Have I got a Gooner in my team yet? Hold on. No, I haven't. Hold on. I haven't got an Arsenal player in my team yet.
I hope. Oh, yeah, I've got some stuff.
Right. Have I got a Man City player? I think I have. Yep. I've got an Arsenal player. I haven't got a Liverpool player yet, so I'm going to stick him in here.
Who? Diaz?
No. Don't be silly. No, don't be silly. No Diaz is for me, mate. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 9 players. I've got to pick 2 more.
Salah.
That's how he builds the suspense up. He won't tell us.
Well, I'm going to tell you everyone's teams in a minute. You lot have told me I've had to write your teams down. It's all right for some people to put it in the chat. I've had to write the teams down for you two. Now I've got to write my team down.
I just caught it.
You haven't got a Liverpool player, haven't you? No.
I just reeled him in.
Did I have
to read the chat out, Jose?
Nah, because the chat's going to have some of the teams already. So I wanted to give the panels first before doing the chat one.
Okay.
Good question. Got me foxed.
It is a good question, isn't it?
Oh, I have Wolf Fox. Wolf Fox, now that you mention him, from when he played at Norwich.
Have I got a Man United player in there yet? No, I haven't got a Man United.
I reckon what would make it was if it was only British players.
Premier League.
That would make it very hard.
British players with no heritage from any other country.
No.
Now that would be impossible.
That'd cut Rice out. That'd cut Grealish. Everyone like that.
The whole lot.
Fucking hell, what's the player's name? The fucking God, I'm thinking of what's his name?
What team?
Man United.
What do you think of?
The forward for Man United.
Inacho?
Holland.
That's it, Hoyland.
Yeah,
I'll have him.
I reckon he's going to be very, very good. He's only
20. Palmer from Chelsea.
I've got him in my team already, mate. yeah, I've got Palmer there already. I just got to pick a goalkeeper now, and it's fucking difficult.
Is that Mrs. Palmer's son?
Kaminsky. Go for him at Luton. His stats are excellent this season.
Fuck it, I'll take him just because otherwise I'll be here all day. Right, so the teams that we've got Right, this has caused a lot of division from people. Right, so people answering this question so far, teams that we've got are right. Nicholas Collison, he put 2 in, so he must have got one. Yeah, he got one wrong. If he had to go again. Right, so Nick's going for Leno, White, Brathwaite, Dunk, Shaw, Palmer, Foden, Salah, Son, Watkins, Tony. So he's playing a 4-3-3. Yeah. Jesse has gone for Vicario, Walker, White, Mitoma, Cash, Salah, Kudos, Harrison, Palmer, Eze, Isaac. And Chris Meta Football has gone for Vicario, Walker, Brathwaite, Saliba, Estepinian, McAllister, Fernandez, Mainu, Gibbs White, Tony and Watkins. So Chris has gone 4-4-2.
4-4-2 in a diamond, and that's Fernandez from Chelsea.
Yeah, in a diamond.
Oh, well, Chris, you've just elevated it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ryan G's gone for Saar, Brathwaite,
Well done.
Van der Ven, Estepinian and Gusto, Rodri, Rice, Paquetá, Salah, Watkins, Eze. So he's gone for a 4-3-3.
Yeah, and I bet Paquetá gets booked in that game, right?
Scotty M has gone for Pope, Shaw, Dunk, Saliba, Gusto, Paquetá, Rodri, Eze, Son, Watkins, Salah. So Scotty's gone for a 4-3-3.
Good team, mate. G'day, Scott.
And have we got anyone else that's gone in there? Was it Lenny Mack saying Hoyland? Haaland means Highland. Hoiberg means High Mountain. Did I get a question right? Right. So, Adrian has gone for Vicario, Walker, Saliba, Dunk, Shaw, Gibbs White, Ward Prowse, Gallagher, and then he's got Watkins, Tony, and Solanke. So it's 4-3-3. Yeah.
4-3-2-1.
And I've just got to work out what Mr. Shear's gone for. Right, you've gone Pickford, James, Van der Ven, Tosin, Zinchenko.
Yeah.
De Bruyne, Souček, and Gross. I would have thought the three along the middle.
Yeah.
And you're playing with three up front. Are you going to go? Are you going?
Yeah, 4-3-3.
You're going for Elanga, Gordon, Solanke.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I'm totally different. I'm playing with a 3-5-2. So I've gone for the Kaminsky guy in goal. My back three are Van der Ven, Van Dijk, and Brathwaite.
Oh, wow.
And in my midfield, I've got Saka, Guimaraes, Paquetá, Palmer, and Foden. And up front, I've gone for Watkins and Hoyland.
That'd be a very hard team to beat.
You get mid-table kind of team, Jose. But yeah, not bad.
Mid-table kind of team, he says.
I think
that was good. That was good.
My team would be favourites for relegation.
That was yeah. I mean, he's not heard it. Hopefully,
we're winning all three, just like Spurs next year.
If he watches it on playback, Graham, tomorrow, I'll let him know that we did answer the question for him, and if he wants to watch it on playback tomorrow, he can.
Very good question, Graham.
It was a good question, but he told me not to ask it in the end. He said, it's just too much. It's not a 5-minute question, and because we were rattling on about other stuff, and he did ask me at 11. So he asked me this question nearly 2 hours ago, like an hour into the show. He asked the question, but then he did say before he went to bed, "Don't bother answering." And I said, "No, we will get to it and we will answer it." So yeah, if he watches us back on playback, he can see the answer that we've got there. So yeah, fantastic.
Practice should have started in the mid.
Not Con. It was my stupid fat thumb.
Starting from the back, the goalkeeper going forward, it got harder as I went further forward through it. I just couldn't think of people. But if I started in midfield, and that would have probably ended up.
And then audio artisans gone for Martinez in goal, Alexander Arnold, Udogi, Saliba, Evans, Paulinho, Eze, Guimaraes, Mitoma, Bowen, and Haaland.
Mm.
Yeah, interesting.
Who does Evans play for?
Man United.
Man United.
Oh,
He's
okay.
back there. He's
He's
back
the,
there. No,
he's
at
the old
Leicester
boy.
and plays
He's
like
the old
this.
boy that came back to play for 1 year for him.
He's about
35.
46 now.
I thought that was the one.
46 agencies.
If he's 35, I'm 21.
Oh, yeah.
You look it. You look 21.
Oh, cheers, buddy.
That's all right.
I'll put you on my Christmas list.
Yeah,
That's
just
interesting. We got quite a few.
I take Aussie dollars, cash only, though, no checks.
No worries, bud.
Scott M saying he's never heard me so angry. I've never heard Jose so angry in my life than trying to come up with this 11.
I know he demonetised himself and all.
Well, that
And
can't
I'll
happen.
tell you what, Jose, I'm still trying to reel you in.
Mhm.
You did take the bite.
that will never happen. I could never be demonetised.
Mm.
Never. So
Jose, can I just ask? Can I just
Oh,
ask who
sorry,
Lenny Mac is?
oh, awesome.
I don't know. Lenny Mac is Lenny Mac.
Who's Lenny Mac? Look at that comment at 12:50.
Right, let me go back. 12:50.
Who's that?
$12.50.
Just before my 11. Just before my
Yeah,
answer.
my missus says don't mute Chris. She reckons he has a sexy voice, and I might have a happy ending. Talk more, Chris. Yeah, there you go. You've got a fan there,
I've never
Chris.
seen him. Hey?
Hey, well, you've got a fan there, Chris, haven't you?
Thanks very much, Lenny and the
You've got a
missus.
fan. You've got a fan there, mate. What do you want me to say to you?
Fan. Lenny's missus is a fan.
Right.
Brilliant
Getting-
stuff.
Ed, is there anything else you guys want to bring up apart from what we've discussed? I'm happy to if you've got something to bring it up, have a chat about it.
I reckon we just got to keep the faith with our team and not
Keep
hit
the
the
what?
panic
Keep the
button.
what? Say again, David. Keep the what?
Keep the faith in Ange and what he's doing.
Of course.
It's a real foundation. It's been very difficult with all the injuries and the breaks and everything. And for that fact alone, I reckon we're going to go ahead next year. As long as we have a proper pre-season and not a promotional tour like last year, that was just bullshit. So, especially with those young players that are trying to bed down. I mean, young Johnson, what's he got now? 6 goals, 7 goals, and 9 assists.
5 goals, 7 assists.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good considering he didn't come in until the end of the season. A lot of people forget that. Norring's done well, and Werner's got another audition.
He's not doing it, is he? He's got 6 goals this season, though.
Who's that?
Romero's got 4. Kulu's got 6 goals this season and assists, but it's just not happening for him, is it? He'll be dropped when he. So,
Can I just pick up on the old having faith in Ange, right? I answered on X, Twitter, for those who whatever, to a comment regarding Ange, and someone was talking that we have to change our manager and this, and my response was the league tables, right? Historical positions at the end of each season for the 3 juggernauts that are in front of us, bar Aston Villa, with all due respect, right? Now, I'm not going to talk about City because City's was like third, first, second, first, third, first, whatever, right? But if you go to Arsenal under Arteta, his first season he finished 8th, second he finished 8th, third season he finished 5th, then second, now he's currently first, right? Now under Klopp, first season he finished 8th. I'm going to go consecutively: 4th, 4th, 2nd, 1st, 3rd, 2nd, 5th, and is currently 2nd. Right now, that's after loads of seasons, 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons under two enormous teams, right? and City as well. Now we're Spurs, coming from where we come from, right? With a hell of a lot of potential if Ange is backed, right? And he's currently sitting 5th with a game in hand that could go 4th in his first season at the highest level of world football, right? Could get Champions League in his first season, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, I just wanted to bring that up about having faith, but the actual work is there, right? So I think it's from my personal, point of view, it's more than faith, it's actual reality. We could end up with Champions League football in this unknown guy's first season.
Yeah.
Coming from where we've come from. Whether you like Levy, whether you hate Levy, whether you don't like Ange, whether you love Ange, whether you have faith or you don't have faith, whether you like the football, whether you hate the football, the proof is actually there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm not discarding what you're saying, David, but what I'm saying is that whether you're in favour or whether you're against, the actual proof is sitting right there in front of you in the league table, in the world's most prolific and respected and whatever you want to call it league.
That's why
some unknown guy that's come from some unknown guy that's come from God knows where is actually doing it. And he's doing it and he's putting in the hours and he's putting in the work. So that is all the proof I need. So whether we finish 5th or 4th doesn't make a difference to me, because the actual work is there and he's laying down the foundations for us to
I'm in full agreement
do better in the coming seasons. So that's all I wanted to say. So back the man. He knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, like 8 games to go. What I mean, like, all right, Villa have got they're at home to Brentford Saturday, right? Brentford aren't no pushover. You see it with teams like Luton come to us and Arsenal. They're hard to beat. Liverpool didn't quite walk over Sheffield United, but they went top 2 points clear. But if we beat Forest at home and Villa were to slip up at Brentford, we go top 4.
Sorry, Totspurs has just joined the chat. Sorry, Adrian. Totspurs, do you want to know? I've told everyone who's live so far in the chat and who's been on the screen. I've given them a little taster of how many points they got this week. Do you want to know how many points you got, or do you already know, Totspurs? Just let me know. If you know already what you've got, then I won't bother telling you. But if you want me to tell you, I can tell you what you scored this week, pre-tomorrow's show. And on that note, Totspurs is answering your question by saying he'd go for Pope, Trent, Saliba, Van der Ven, Shaw, Rodri, D, and Luis.
Lewis.
D is Douglas Luiz.
Oh, Douglas Luiz, KDB, Salah, Isaac, Solanke.
Yeah.
And quite rightly so. Quite rightly so. He says, no, I don't want to hear it.
Was it that bad? Was it?
Sorry, but Totspurs has repeated.
Yeah, Scott M saying that he's picked 2 Liverpool and 2 Newcastle players. You can only have one Premiership player from each side from 18. So you can only have one. You've put 2 from each, Liverpool and 2 from Newcastle. You've got to dump a Liverpool and dump a Newcastle player. You can only have one from each team. So Scott M, eagle-eyed Scott M saw that, and Ryan G said he's got KDB and Rodri in his team.
Rodney.
And he's also got Trent and Salah. So you can't have 2 players from each team. That was them were the rules. So
them was the rules.
Them was the rules. So Totspurs, you need to either wipe your eyes down a bit and read properly.
And have a good hard look at yourself.
Yeah, and what David said just there, because David, we do what David says.
That's right, you Bill. You Bill this.
Sorry, Adrian, you were saying, mate. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was channeling Sergeant Schultz from Hagen's Heroes. Sorry, I know nothing.
Yeah, I remember him.
The Totspurs is coming and saying they ain't supposed to notice that. Yeah, we got wily people in our chat. We've got wily people in the chat. They'll find you out straight away.
Big up David, he's saying.
We kick off 6 o'clock on Sunday, no? I think we've got 6 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, we're playing at 6. It's been brought back. It's been brought back now because of the people hadn't under this misnomer. That's been brought back because of the tube strikes.
It's
Not been
Liverpool.
brought back because of the tube strikes. It's been brought back because of the rail strikes. So it meant fans getting up to Forest and coming down on the train couldn't get it because of the rail strikes on Monday, on the 8th. That's why it's been booked forward 24 hours. And people were saying, but the tube strike's off now. But it had nothing to do with the tube strike. It was all about the away support not being able to get to the game and back on the Monday. So yeah, Adrian, you'll be game, won't you, Adrian? Because you don't live far from the ground. So it doesn't. You're not far from the ground, are you?
I can't. I think the last time I ever remember Forest beating Spurs at Lane, probably in the League Cup with a Stuart Pearce goal, free kick or something.
Didn't they? Oh no, they beat us away last year, didn't they? In the League Cup 2-0.
Well, this is the league.
Yeah, but no. But for you, what I'm saying is, you live so close to the ground that the 6 o'clock kickoff doesn't affect you because you walk to the game, don't you?
No, it doesn't affect.
Yeah, but you walk. What I'm saying, you walk to the game.
Walk home. If I'm raining, I walk home from the ground.
Are you going to get moved out your house because of Levy Tower? You're going to get.
I'm 1.5 miles from the ground, Chris.
Oh, sorry.
I walk it in about 40 minutes. When I was
directly
affected. 40, but no, if it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, I leave my house at 2 o'clock. I get there in plenty, at least half. It all depends if the bus comes straight away or not. And I'm there by
one of those scooters.
About 20 minutes before. Yeah, I'm not quite ready for one of them yet.
Not a mobility scooter, for God's sake. One of those you stand up on.
Oh, them Segways or whatever they're called, something like that.
Well, one of them, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it like that.
So, well, there's no point. I'm not going to ask you for predictions and that because then you'll be giving away your predictions for tomorrow. Tomorrow's predictions is tomorrow. I'm just hoping the presser will be tomorrow, even though it's a Sunday game, won't it?
But what is it hasn't worked in our favour yet, the rest period. But we play Forest, yeah. Then we got Newcastle away.
Yeah, on the 13th.
Then we've got a 15-day break before we play Arsenal because these teams are involved in Europe and Cup competitions. So
he's got it up. He's got the talking ball merchandise. Look,
Fulham did us any good, but we'll have.
Adrian, can you see it? He's got the talking ball merchandise on. Look.
Is that when he was when he was a player?
Yeah.
No, yeah, but what they've done is, what does it say? It says what Cobber on it? Because of David saying that, it says Cobber on the shirt as well. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Cobber.
But what he wants to do, he wants I think he wants you to show it off when talking balls on, so he can say to everyone, "This is part of the merchandise that I've got."
Yeah, it's got talking ball across the back, just below the neck one.
Oh, I don't know, because he does all that stuff. I don't do it. Like, well, we've spoken about this already. I ain't got a clue. He just gets some ideas in his head and he starts rolling them out there. But yeah, he likes to play tongue in cheek, don't he? So, but it looks well on you, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
It looks well on you.
I've got 3 of them.
What, all the Ange ones?
Yeah, I've got the 2 Ange ones, and I got the one with you and Colin.
Oh, the one where he's put the names back. Also, yeah, the names the other way around. Yeah. We're gonna have to get you to do a video of you like
fashion show.
Yeah, do a fashion show with Dave.
Yeah, I don't think so, mate. It'll only be from the waist up.
But that'll do. The waist up will do. It's fine. Don't worry. As long as you can show the merch off, it don't matter.
I'm not showing my man boobs.
Yeah, but surely you're covered. The t-shirt covers you, don't it? Surely.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just turn the camera off to do the switcheroo, though. What is viewership, mate?
Superb.
Some things are supposed to be kept covered.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you. And if people are watching this on playback, please close your ears.
Leave Smithy Smith now. I reckon he'd show the whole lot.
Like Smithy, yeah, possibly. Yeah, Smithy's.
No saying that, lad.
Yeah, Smithy's cut from a different cloth, isn't he, old Smithy?
He's a good lad.
He is, but he's cut from a different cloth altogether.
He sure is.
Yeah. But sorry, Adrian. Sorry, you were saying, mate, before David came.
Sorry, Adrian.
No, I was just saying about just the upcoming fixtures. We'll have a 15-day break.
And Arsenal, am I right in saying Arsenal play 4 times in that period that we've got the 2-week break? They play 4 times, don't they? And 2 of them in Europe.
In theory, the break should do us good, but it hasn't in the past, has it? It didn't do us a break.
No, it's broken in momentum, hasn't it?
Yeah, for some reason it's sort of gone against us, but maybe this time it'd be different.
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Can I ask something?
I'm looking forward to the Arsenal game. I really am. I'm looking forward to the Arsenal game. I'm looking forward to the Liverpool game, and I'm looking forward to the Man City game. I'm looking forward to Newcastle as well. I'm looking forward to every game we play. Look at this. Look,
it's going to be interesting.
I'm looking forward to Chelsea.
Look at this. Look. Did I hear my name? Smithy's just appeared again.
Right. Well, I'm pretty sure they haven't got an easy game this week, Arsenal. They're away at Brighton. I'm pretty sure. Check on the phone. I think they're away at Brighton.
I can tell you, I've got it here. I've got it here. Brighton on the 6th. Away at home to Bayern Munich on the 9th. Then at home to Villa on the 14th. Then away to Bayern Munich on the 17th. So they've got 11 days of football, 4 matches.
So when we play against them,
so they got Munich.
Have they got Munich away? Have they got Munich away just before they play us, Chris?
No. They go to Wolves 3 days later.
And then what have they got after Wolves?
Chelsea at home. Then us. They got us. Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot of fucking games, though, Chris.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That's a lot of games.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in 21 days. Literally 21 days before they see us.
Yeah, we just got, like I say, we've got Newcastle away after Forest, and we've got that 15-day break. It is from the 13th to the 28th, I think it is. So
I can tell you about Spurs if you want. Hang on, we've got Forest away. So Forest on the 7th at home. Then we've got Newcastle away on the 13th. Then City has been called off on the 20th.
Yeah, postponed. Yeah.
Then we've got Arsenal at home on the 28th. That's all we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And if Man City qualify for the semi, if Man City win now the quarterfinal of the Champions League and qualify for the semi-finals, that means that Man City's only free week to play Tottenham will be in the week leading up to the last game of the season. So that means
we got Sheffield and Burnley, I think, last couple of games.
Yeah, we'll be playing 3 games in a week if Man City get to the semi-finals.
So that's between the 11th and the 19th.
Yeah, so in between the two that week, the 2 weekend games, it's the only time that you can fit the Man City game in will be in that last week if they qualify for the semi-finals of Champions League. Chelsea's game hasn't been announced yet, has it?
Which game?
The rearranged Chelsea game, because we were meant to play Chelsea on the weekend of the League Cup final. So that's a to be confirmed.
Who are they playing in that 2-week period we got off? Have Chelsea got games, or could they fit it in there?
I can check for you if you want.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just a second, please.
You've got to marry up the games for Chelsea and Tottenham to see who we got.
Right, so Chelsea have got Sheffield United away, then Everton at home, then Brighton Chelsea on the 20th has been called off. Then they've got is that the FA Cup final on the 20th?
Semi-finals. Chelsea in the semi-finals, Adrian. That's why they're still playing, isn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, so Chelsea's still in the semi-finals. That's why that game hasn't been rearranged yet, because they're still in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tottenham end up with a congested fixture list, Adrian.
Yeah, at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So that means Lo Celso will get some game time and probably still get injured.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but like I said, David, I don't know if you've been hearing me in the last week or two. I've been saying that to me, and there's a lot of people in the club that are, or a lot of supporters are saying the Celso's not worth wearing the shirt, blah blah blah. And I hear it all, and I can understand where they're coming from. He's only played 100 times in 6 years, and he's always injured, never takes his chances, and all that. And I've just said basically, I really don't care about that side of it. It's in all likelihood he may be gone in the summer, but for the moment, I want every player
Still wearing the shirt.
available
Yeah.
to give 110 if called upon in the last 8 or 9 games.
It's a damn shame because I really rated him. And I mean, some of his fights.
I'd watched him play for Argentina. I'd seen him play a bit. I thought, this guy's good. I still think he's a good player. It's just that he's just so injury prone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not his one. I was going to ask you a question. Do you reckon the players do too much promotional stuff?
I don't know.
Well, can't they cut it down a bit? Because I reckon Madison's really struggled with all the extra activities. I know they're a brand these days because money's made it and fame and that, but I think it's a detriment to young footballers. You know, Basuma was listening too much to his own press, I reckon.
He showed better signs against West Ham, and so did Bentancur.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like Bentancur. I'm like Jose, I really like Bentancur. If our 4 midfielders, the best ones we consider, are Sarr, Bentancur, Madison, and Basuma, I'd pick a fit Bentancur before I picked any of the others.
Yeah,
Bentancur's the best midfielder in the club.
Yeah, I just think he like his energy.
Yeah. Wasn't it great seeing Poro having that crack on goal? That's what we've been missing.
And you dodged this one as well, which looked an easier one if you'd only placed it in the right place. But
that's right. Yeah. Bit more composure.
I was just looking at Lo Celso, and the injury that he's just had with us he's been out for a month. I see that's the second longest he's had in his whole career. The longest one, he was out for 3 months when he came back from his loan stint at Betis. He was out for 3 months, I think.
Who was that? Sorry, Chris.
Celso.
Well, GLC, Giovanni Lo Celso.
Yeah, he was injured as well at Villarreal when he's out there on loan as well.
He was,
but you know what? They're not kind of like they're like muscle injury out a week, thigh injury out 10 days. They're not like heavy duty injuries, you know.
Yeah, but even only playing 100. If we said he had 2 loans, Chris, has he had more than 2 loans, Adrian? He did 1 year at Betis. He did 1 year at Villarreal, didn't he?
He missed the World Cup because McAllister played the final instead of him. But so Messi would have had him playing because Messi sort of half picks the team.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if he's only been out on 2 loans and he's been with us for 6 years, still 100 games in 4 years is nowhere near enough, Chris.
No, it's not.
In 4 years, what do you mean for us?
Right, he's been with us for 6 years, but 2 of them he was loaned out. So actual
he's
games.
He's been with us since the 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
So that's 4 years.
He came into the Marinos last season, I think, but
he came under Pochettino.
But
he's been here 6 seasons.
Changed his loan to a permanent signing under Marino. Marino wanted him, so he did play. I mean, he got him. Didn't he? Had these little 4 or 5 game spells. Then he would get injured, and
But yeah, for 4 years.
If I heard someone say that Bentancur is starting to be a sick night, and I mean that's really rough on a guy that's done an ACL and that.
He's a rapid healer, Bentancur, though. He's come back for injuries a lot quicker.
He seemed to come back into a bit of form last week on the limited amount that I saw. It was only the highlights. You guys saw the game.
But what I was going to say, Chris, with Lo Celso, even if you look at his 4 years being at Tottenham, to only play 100 games tells you, and it seems to be it's a fits and starts. Lo Celso hasn't been injury free all season this season. So if he's been out for a month,
he's just come back from. He's just come.
Yeah, and that's right, for a month off. Yeah, but Chris, but the season's been going since August. So if you take 1 month out of the equation, he's been out of the side and out of the squad, injured other times as well this season, and they all amount up to non-appearances, and that's what's happened in 4 years. It's the little injuries, muscle injuries, whatever you want to say. He's called it. He's missing a week or two, comes back for a week, misses another week or two, and that seems to be the story of Lo Celso for the last 4 years.
This season, sorry to cut you off. This season, from the 1st of September, he was out. I stand corrected. He started at the 1st of September to the 6th of October. Muscle. It was his like calf. It says muscle. So it's a muscle injury.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is what I'm saying. He's been out. He's been out quite often.
Yeah. So this season, he's been injured 3 times. So the first one was at the beginning of the season, September to October, 5 weeks. Then he was out 11 days in December. Then he was out. This last one was just over 5 weeks with another muscle injury. So that's 3 times this season.
So that can sometimes be because of lack of regular football, can't it?
It could be, but it could be psychological. It could be his food, nutrition. It could be his actual physical, like his body constitution, the way he's built. He's not built for the current game because, I mean, the game has changed so much.
He's more Europe, isn't he? Italian league.
Yeah. So
so he'll be gone. I wonder. So this is you can just read between the lines on this one, right? Skip. He hasn't really got a future, has he? If we're interested in Morgan Gibbs-White, Coop Miners, Edison, Conor Gallagher,
Morgan Gibbs-White, goodbye, Skip.
Substitute. He's doomed at Spurs, isn't he, Skip?
He is.
I think
the only thing that's saving him is time from
because he's injured. Because he's injured, comes back and they can sell him.
And it's a shame because I really like him and his attitude.
But he might be one of those that makes up the far end of the 25. If he's content to sit on the bench, then he may be kept because we're not going to revamp. I mean, Ange said he wants 3 more windows. To me, that's 9 players.
3 players. But that's 3 more summer windows, so that's really 6 windows, including winter. The January windows. He said 4 summer windows he needs.
I'm saying 2 summer and a window, me.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, right?
So it's possible, isn't it? That's what I'm getting at. Sorry, Adrian.
It's all right. It's all right to say that it's all right that we're. Adrian, you'll know this better than most because you do write-ups on this all the time. You do it on your Facebook page and you send them to us in the WhatsApp groups and all that. From now to the end of the season, so from now to when the summer or the end of the season, the summer begins, we're going to be linked with 300 players. Because if we're linked with 3 to 4 a day, that's going to be 28 to 30 a week. 10 weeks left of the season. That's going to be like 300 players we're going to be linked with, right?
Yeah.
It's all right being linked with all these players, but we need to get rid of players at our club as well. We need to get to go. It's got to be a revolving door. You've got to have players going out and players coming in. Now, for me, and I say this all the time, the average amount of players that we've brought in the last couple of seasons has been 6. And I can't see us getting any less than 6 again. If we want to move this project on, you've got to get out with the old and in with the new, and you've got to keep revolving that door. So we've got to make sales this year because I don't. And
we've got to make some hard decisions too.
Yeah, I don't know how much money we've got in the pot, right? But then we've also got to make sales to boost that pot to go out and buy more players. Now,
you're looking at
when you say the hard decisions, like David just said, I spoke about this yesterday, right? And I said, and I don't know whether you saw the show, Adrian, but I turned around and I said yesterday, I think it was yesterday I said it, I turned around and I said on the shows is, look at the 16 players that played for Tottenham against West Ham, right? So the first 11 and the 5 substitutes that came on. Do you think, and I'll ask you the same question I asked yesterday, do you think that any of the players out of them 16, forget Højbjerg now and forget Lo Celso, right? So from the other 14 players that came on as subs or started 11, do you think that any of them other 14 could be leaving the club this window?
No.
No.
No. I think if you're going to bring money in for players, you're looking at Roden. Looks like he'll go to Leeds, and they're welcome to him, and they want him, so that's good.
And it's good for him too.
Spence at Genoa. So how much do you think we get for those two? Just
For who?
Just
for who? Say again.
Roden. How much we get for Roden? 12 mil.
12 million Roden. Yeah, go on.
Spence cost us 20 mil. How much do we get for him?
10 if we're lucky.
22.
Because I think there's already. I think there's
mil?
already. Isn't it? Didn't Spence? Didn't Spence go with an obligation to buy to Genoa?
It did.
Yeah, I think there were a mention of a fee if they wanted him. Yeah.
And I think there was about I think it was 8 million. I think it was 8 million, to be honest.
Right,
it was 8 million.
Roden 12, Spence 8.
That's
What about Tanganga? 3 mil at Millwall?
I think Tanganga could possibly go for 5 or 6, for between 5 and 10 mil, but only to a club that's prepared to pay the money.
25 then, right? Regulon at Brentford.
Regulon, I don't know whether Regulon will go Brentford. I think Regulon will go back to Spain, Chris, don't you?
Yeah, could have a future in Spain, yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll go back to Spain, Regulon, and they ain't going to give you much money, so I'd reckon you get another 5 mil for him.
So it's 30 mil,
But he could go anywhere, really, because I think he's broken up with his girlfriend. And I think he's open to go anywhere, because it's different if his girl wanted to go back to Spain for whatever reason, then obviously you're drawn back to your home, your home country. But as he's got no missus anymore, or birds,
he stays here, you get more money for him. If he goes to Spain, you'll only get about 5 mil.
So we're at 30 mil. The Celso?
I reckon the Celso's worth at least 20. But it's whether someone,
that's 50 mil, right?
It's whether someone pays for it.
Højbjerg
I reckon he's another 20.
70 mil, right?
Yeah.
Gil?
20.
I reckon you'll be lucky to get 10 for Hill, because Hill, we bought him for 20, but he's not played, has he?
No.
So although that's on paper, that's 80 mil. Who have I missed?
What about Ndombele? I reckon
that's right. Take him.
Give him away. Buy one, get one free. Do a buy one, get one free.
Get the wages of the books.
Yeah, Dave, do a buy one, get one free. We call it bog off over here. Buy one, get one free.
Yeah, I could be so good as you.
The team will come in for Gil, Lo Celso, Højbjerg, definitely. We know Roden wants to go. So we can bring money into the transfer kitty. So I'm confident.
Well, there's more white money right there.
Listen,
but
you can how much have we? How much 40 mil now?
How much have we got in the pot?
How much do you reckon he's worth, Adrian? Sorry.
Lo Celso?
No, Gibbs White. 60 mil, 50 mil.
It depends. If Forest get relegated, they've got to take him off the wage bill. If they get another points deduction or whatever, I don't think we're going to pay 60 mil for him. If that was the case, I'd rather go and get Edison or Coop Miners from Atlanta. I
like Gibbs White.
As long as we've got the homegrown quota, we're not going to get held to ransom those British tax. I wouldn't mind Gibbs White. I wouldn't mind Edison. I wouldn't mind Coop Miners. There's others. I've looked at a few other midfield. There are a lot of good. Listen, we'll be linked with all our fan base. They'll be going toxic. We'll go, why aren't we extra 5 mil? We won't even know what the fee is, and then we'll find out it's a player we weren't in for in the first place by the time the window closes. You're going to have all that rubbish, right? No, there was a lot of good. I'll give you some of the list.
I don't want Gallagher at all. I don't want to help Chelsea at all. They can go to buggery.
Lloyd Kelly's on a free this year, as did Adebayor at Fulham, right? You got those two, right? Which foreign clubs will be in because it's wages, right? You got Jimenez at Feyenoord to strike. You got Dusan Vlahovic at Juventus. You got Samuel Injuning. You got Stanislav Demba Mazamba, the winger at Ajax. You got Rooney Bargi, we've been interested in as well. I think it's FC Copenhagen, can't remember. Matthias Saul at Juventus. Jean-Claire Tabiba at Nice, we've been interested in. Conor Gallagher, Pedro Concalves, Pedro Neto injury prone on him. Andrew Scov like this player, he can finish. And we need players up front to score. Jonathan Davey with enlistment. Omar Marmouche, the striker at Eintracht Frankfurt, I think he's at. And you got Edison, Coop Miners. I like Cambiasso at Juventus. There's only a slight hint on him. Then you got Festia Beselli, the right. He's very raw though as a wing back, but he's powerful and pacey. Plays for
So, but that's the trouble. If we're getting rid of all these midfield players, we need to get midfield players in, and then we've got to get. We really do need
We've got
to
Sebastian
back up
Zieliński, the
backs.
playmaker, the Polish playmaker. Morata, the centre half at Benfica. Rafinha, I wouldn't mind Rafinha's stats are excellent. Better than Pedro Neto's.
Rafinha from Barcelona.
Yeah, I like him.
I wouldn't take him.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't take him, and I'm a Barcelona fan.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
fine.
want him
Then,
at Spurs.
like now, we've been back to Genoa again. Where there's links are getting a bit stronger with Albert Gudmundsson.
Yeah, I did a take on him on the channel. I think he's absolutely brilliant.
Right, fair
Who's
enough.
that, Goodmanson?
And then there's then there's a winger at Hull, Jaden Philogene, we've been linked with, but it's very tenuous. And that's just on that list. And on that page, this is 30, and there's more. And I can't be bothered to write them down until they gain more traction. And I know that we're in. And then you don't really. What you need to hear, clubs are talking, or player says they've agreed a deal with the agent. Really, that's what they get done over tapping players up. They've agreed a deal with the agent. Now they've got to go to the club because now they know the player's happy to come. There's no point going if the player don't want to come. So
basically, look, let me just say, from the players that we said earlier, and we said we could raise 80 million, right? What about Emerson?
I'd sell him. He's technically not good enough.
Right. Richie.
I would keep him for the simple reason. No, I would get rid of him. But the point is, we haven't got, unless Velez comes back, and this is why I'd want Parrott in the squad next year. Because he's 22, see if he's any good.
Adrian,
we ain't got number 9.
Adrian, let me float something to you, right?
Go on.
We bought him for 60, yeah? Right. If the Saudis are prepared to throw 60 at us for him,
I'd sell him.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd sell him, and then you can fund your Jimenez.
I'd sell him for 50.
But then you can fund your Jimenez's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So this
as long
is
as it's
saying.
money and win out, as long as it's not like most fans, let's get rid of all these, and then we're weak in one position.
No.
There's a centre back issue with Davies and Emerson have to play at centre back. You know?
You also mentioned a fire sale with Son and Richardson to Arabia, because we're not going to get any money for Son if we hold on to him for another 4 years.
I said this. I said Chris put it into. Chris put it in a comment the other day.
If we was playing under the Conte system this year, right, low block with Sonny, we'd probably be mid-table. It's only because we're getting more chances up front that he scored more goals than ever. Sonny has scored a goal every 2.45 games he's played for Spurs now, 160.
Well, I think someone to develop like these, someone to develop, he needs a Son on the left. Son
will be given, mark my words, you can clip this, Son will be given at least a 2-year contract in the new year with a year's extension. He can play till he's 34. Look at the pace when he ran at Luton from back. He might not have the turbo charges he had earlier. But
I'm not talking about not liking Son. That's not what I'm coming from. What I'm coming from is for this club to get
with his left and right foot. We haven't got no one else.
Yeah.
Right, so for me, Chris put a comment the other day. I saw you, Chris. I said something a while ago. Yeah, I said something a while ago, right? And Chris, I saw you put it in the chat the other day. I think you were talking about selling Sonny.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I said a few months ago, right, I would consider selling Son this summer, right? If hold on. If the Saudis threw 100 million at us, I would consider selling Sonny, purely because if Sonny signs a 3-year contract, you ain't getting a penny for Sonny in 3 years' time.
But he only cost us 22 mil from Bayern Leverkusen, didn't he?
Right, I know that, but if they're
that's gone.
If the Saudis are prepared to throw 200 million at Salah, then they'll be prepared to throw 100 million at Son. And with 100 million for Son and 60 for Richarlison, plus all the other riff-raff that we can get rid of, that's a lot of money, Adrian. And what people need to remember...
I don't even think Levy would dare to sell Son if Ange says, I want to keep him.
Yeah.
Ange would not say, I want to keep him. A 33-year-old, when you could go out and sign Gyökeres, who played for Coventry, who's smashing it for Sporting Lisbon, right, for 70, 80 million, knowing that you sold a 33-year-old for 100 million, you would spend 80 million on a 25-year-old that's smashing it in Europe and in Europe, whatever, in Sporting Lisbon, after doing it for Coventry, for God's sake.
Gekeres is Sporting he's talking about.
Sporting Lisbon. I mean, and you can go and sign their centre mid as well. So you could give Sporting Lisbon their August, right, and their September all together. I'd splash 150 mil, and you can get their centre mid and their centre forward
striker
for the price of Sonny. See you later. I'd do it now. I mean, it just makes sense.
I mean, to me, I'm saying that, right?
If that were to happen,
I'm saying at the moment we're saying we can raise 80 for some of the other players. Throwing Emerson into the mix as well. Then I'm saying that. Then I'm saying if the Saudis did offer 60 for Richie, right? You're talking about having probably about 150, 160 million there.
I mean, shush.
Especially with him scoring 10 goals this year, it'd be time.
You never know, guys. We're all joking about Ndombele, but that's the sort of Saudi league might suit him. You might get a few quid for Ndombele if you went to a Saudi. He's got a year's contract to go.
Yeah, but they're not going. Yeah, but they're not stupid. They're not going to pay. They're not going to pay much.
10 mil's peanuts to them. If they said 10 mil, I'd go take it.
don't want the good publicity, Adrian, and Ndombele is just toxic.
Yeah. He's not toxic. He's just overweight.
Well, he's toxic because of all the macas.
He's just got an eating habit, and I don't know how much meat they eat in Saudi. He's just got an eating habit, isn't he? So,
well, how much did you eat McDonald's
as well? I mean, he's not going to get a game, is he? Skip. He's not going to get a game. We're going to bring in midfielder. Skip's not getting a game. He's only be a bit part player at best. So
he's
Norwich.
He's a bit part player already.
Yeah.
But he'd be worth 10 million to someone like Norwich, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I think Skip could. I think Skip could get into the Premiership. Skip could play. Skip could still play in the Premiership. It just won't be with one of the top clubs, but Skip could get a move in the Premiership.
Someone like Forest or
Southampton.
Morgan Gibbs White. Give him say 30 million plus Skip.
You don't do that. People don't do swap deals. You do them separately. I mean, we did the separate deal with Leicester over Maddison because Winks went the other way, but they were still separate deals.
The thing you got to look at, right, is that who are the clubs that are in trouble for FFP?
Nottingham Forest.
Okay, so I'll give you Brennan Johnson. Tell me another FFP club.
Everton.
Richarlison, another FFP club. Leicester, Maddison. So we've already gone to the clubs.
Napoli have been linked with Kulusevski because they're selling Osimhen, they reckon, right? So then you've got, and we've been linked with actually the guy at Leicester, Dewsbury Hall. He's a good player.
See, but the thing is, what I'm trying to say,
Elanga's a good player for Forest as well.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that Tottenham have fished. I think Levy must have known something because it looks like Levy has fished in the market where he knew clubs were in trouble.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I get where you.
I mean, two of the three clubs have already mentioned Tottenham in their rambles. They've been rambling about, they shouldn't have been done for FFP because X, Y, and Z. And it ain't fair that Tottenham did this and Tottenham did that. The only team that hasn't named Tottenham yet is Leicester, but they haven't made a statement yet.
And they're over the limit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Chelsea declared a £90 million loss, right? This is for all the trouble they've got, and 120 in 2 seasons, 120 million pound loss, right? So that's
Newcastle
400 mil, right, in 2 seasons. Jose said they've got 4 with new owners to sort it out, but you're only, most clubs, the rule is you're only allowed 105 million over 3 years, right? They're already double that. They're already double that. And it's talking about, this is when I read some of the reports, I thought that's rubbish, right? Because something drastic would happen, right? There was a link today that Osimhen would go to Chelsea for about 100 mil, and then they would want to come in and get Kulusevski because Conte likes him, right? And things like that. Fair enough, right? That's down to Ange if he wants Kulu or keep him or not. But Chelsea are so far over the top with their FFP. They've got 1 year to sort it out, or 2 if you're right, Josie. The new owner's allowed 4 years to sort his FFP out. But then it'd be 4 years at 35 mil, which would be 140 mil, and they're still 80 odd mil over. I think that's why we're sniffing around Conor Gallagher, because they have got to sell. Chelsea have got to sell if they buy anyone. They won't be doing any business.
I don't want Gallagher.
I don't either.
Give me Palace Gallagher, but not Chelsea.
I'd take Edison over Gallagher any day of the week. And I haven't seen too much of Edison, but he looks much better player to me than Gallagher is. And Gallagher's another one, right, who's got a Werner Itis in front of goal, right? He couldn't hit a cow's eye with a banjo, you know what I mean? I mean, that's what he's like.
I still like Werner.
Well, he may be kept because...
I mean, we get so disparaged. Played 49 games.
We need a squad of 25, and we're like, you're looking at... What is our real squad? Let's be fair. If you put... We know we've got 6 decent defenders as Dragons and comes good. You've got the 4 midfielders that we know that are the popular ones, which are like Bentancur, Basuma, Maddison and Sarr, right? That gives us 10 players. You've got Sonny up front's 11. You know Johnson and Kula are staying. That's 13, right?
I'd love to go and get Kelly.
Mate, Werner, that's 14, and now we're stuck. We don't know what we've got with Solomon yet till he's fit. Could be 15. No. So we still need 10. You know, we need cover at left back, right back, left centre back. We need a little bit extra in midfield, because when we can't dig into games, we need to be able to change things in midfield, provide more energy with quality. You know, and then you need a striker. We need 2, really, but I mean, like...
well, we don't know how good Belize is going to be, and I reckon he's better than Scarlett and Parrott.
Oh, yeah, and it's ins and outs. You know, it's got to be, if it's a weak position, it's got to be 1 in and 1 out, and that position, that deal's got to be ready to done. You know,
with their underage system, you don't hear much, like Jose said, you don't hear much about the, you know, the left and right back. Are there any coming on all right?
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Are there any coming on? Like showing any promise? Our left and right backs at under 21 level.
We got Charlie Sayers from Southend a while back. He can ping a ball down the flanks and all that. They're not getting the biggest shout outs. The centre backs are Dorrington and Phillips.
That's right.
Gunter and all that. I mean, you don't give, right, Forster, who's injured, another year's contract till he's 38 or whatever it is, if you've got great faith in Brandon Austin, who's 24, or Alfie Whiteman. Yet you'll send Josh Keeley out on loan to Barnet, and we've still got Gunter as well. And I think...
Keeley hasn't been doing well there, has he?
Who, sorry?
That young Keeley. He's been promising out to 21.
He's well happy with him. I think that Keeley, I think that after Forster goes the end of next season, he'll be fit to start it. I think Keeley will be number 2, and I think Whiteman and Austin will be moved on.
Yeah.
And
so we've got Donnelly in that can come in.
Sorry?
We've got Donnelly and the likes of Sunsup Bell and that.
Yeah, Lancashire.
You know, we were talking about and Lancashire and Santiago. And I mean, it's another year and it's another pre-season of learning underage.
He had a good game the other day, Santiago, actually. I think the under-21.
Ange with the semi-final of the Premier League. And he's not afraid of using unknowns in the national team.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a look at Mossimo that scored that worldie in the Asian Cup against Sun's team. You know, I mean, I know he fell off. I think he did a bad knee, and that really curtailed his career. But Ange really isn't afraid if they show promise.
Yeah, Ryan. So, Ryan, it is a late one because I don't have work tomorrow. So that's why I didn't mind doing the show tonight, because I ain't got work tomorrow. Destiny 5, I've been watching you. I see where you've come from, Destiny. You've been at United Spurs of America. I saw you hiding in there, and you've just snuck in, Destiny. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you here. He came in.
Welcome back.
He clapped his hands as he's come in.
Well done.
And he's crept in, and then he said, Adrian was animal the other night.
What did you get up to, Adrian?
I don't know. Where was you the other night, Adrian?
Did your ride come off, Adrian? Did you do a strike?
Kuva's come in. I know where Kuva was hiding as well.
Hey, Kuva.
Hi, Kuva. Good evening, mate, or good morning, should I say?
Send him the link. Send him the link. Go on.
G'day, Kuva. Good to see you, mate.
How much longer do you want to go on for?
Do you want Kuva to come in because I've got to go, Jose?
We're not really talking about much, though, are we? Really now?
We're not.
We've done. He's quite right in what it says. What we're mopping up, because what can we still be mopping up 3.5 hours later? So
Leave his mess.
Kuva might bring something to the table. He usually does. He's full of knowledge.
Just know Donna Cullens.
I'm sorry,
God,
David. David, have you been in hiding? Have you been like lurking everywhere?
Who? Me?
Yeah, because you said Donna Cullen. So have you been watching from afar what's been going on?
I watched the playback about 2 days ago, and I couldn't believe what I was listening and seeing.
Donna Cullen's in India, isn't he? She, rather. He.
It. We'll just call it it.
It's a he.
I'm not politically correct, I'm afraid. I'll leave that for the wokes.
We don't expect Australians to be politically correct.
No, we're not. Tell it as it is, Adrian.
So,
good ones anyway.
I was told that Donna Cullen is an Indian guy.
Yeah, I don't care what it is. He's a troll. Yeah. Anyway.
Comes in and makes funny remarks. That's all. It's nothing wrong about him.
Oh, look who we've got. We've been blessed. Look at this. This is the man. A very good Friday, April the 5th, 2024. Morning to everyone on the panel in the chat from Southeast Asia. Awesome jam-packed 3+ hours content from the off. Looking forward to the Forest at home. Come on, you Spurs.
Chang.
Big up, Chang. Chang must be at work. He's got to be.
He's in Malaya, isn't he?
Malaysia, yeah. He's on the same time zone as David. So whatever time it is for David, it's that time for Chang now. I think Chang's already at work. Yeah, I think Chang's at work already. But nice to see you, Chang. And nice for you to put a comment, mate. Thank you. Yeah, he's a good man, our Chang.
Yeah, he is.
Right, so Brian G is saying, me and Daniel saw him on Strasbourg Steve's stream a few months back. Right, so when I saw that stream, I saw what you're talking about there. When I saw that stream, it was a picture of said person, and it was a bot. It was an AI bot speaking in a female accent, but it was so broken and so low that you couldn't work out or make out what was being said. The kiss kept going in and out. It was like someone speaking in a goldfish bowl. But the more that it's gone on, the more daring it's become, and supposedly to a lot of people it's becoming fairly obvious of who it is. So, but anyway, that is what it is. If people want to do that, more for them. I'm not into it. So,
Chris, how are you doing lately? Chris,
what?
How are Barca doing? I have no idea. How are they doing lately?
Second in the league, mate. Not doing bad. We've improved since Xavi said that he was leaving in the summer, and apparently sticking by it. He's leaving. We're looking for someone new, apparently, and yeah, apparently it's going to be Hansi Flick as the main contender. I hope that's not going to happen. But yeah, that's the news coming out of Barcelona. Yeah.
Maybe they should go for Alonso.
No, Alonso's staying at Bayer Leverkusen. He's confirmed it the other day in a press conference. I want. If I had my way, I would want Nagelsmann. much more rounded and much more complete as a manager than Hansi Flick or any of these that are floating around the Spanish press. No, Klopp's retiring. He's taking a sabbatical at least.
Yeah. I hope there's not an underlying health problem with Klopp, because you think he's not the oldest, is he, to retire? Though he might have had enough, want some time with his family and stuff like that,
He looks thinner than before. I agree with what you've just said. I hope it's not something that obviously is not going to be relayed to the press. It's something personal.
Strange thing. Normally, when a manager says he's going, the players take their foot off the gas. And he told them halfway through, he told the board ages ago that he was going. That's why I thought, I hope you haven't got an underlying health problem.
But the thing that set me off was whenever he came out and said that he was that the board know since December, or he came out in November, was it, or something like that, or December, and said that he was leaving. Then Pepijn Linders gave I don't know whether it was to the Liverpool press or what, to the channel or something, and he said that they'd already told the board at the beginning of the season that they were leaving. So which one is it?
Yeah.
Did the board already know, or the owners know at the beginning of the season, or is Klopp announcing it at mid-season and he was lying to everyone and the board already knew, or the owners already knew, or what's going on? Because Linders already knew, and Linders said one thing and Klopp saying another, and it's a bit strange. But but something is obviously something's going on, and definitely I'm not going to pry. If I were a Liverpool fan, of course I'd like to know, but the underlying thing that you may be alluding to, it's not for me to, you know what I mean? It's something personal, health related.
Yeah, it's personal anyway. Normally
that's it,
club boards keep it quiet anyway, don't they? Because you don't want your team,
Well, that's going to bring morale down, and it's going to, or it could go the other way. They want to fight for everything, and they want to do it for your boss and do it for the gaffer, and it could have the opposite effect, and it goes sideways, or as I'm trying to explain, it could go skyrocket high, and you do it for the right reasons, for the humane reasons, and you put in the last shift of the season, and you go for everything full belt.
Yeah.
But only they know, and they'll release as much information as they want to. But I think he's a class act. Whether he pisses people off with his side, his touchline antics, I bear him. I tolerate him more than I do Arteta. And Arteta is Spanish, and he's an ex-Barca academy player. But I just like Klopp more. I just think he's more approachable.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with fans disliking his touchline antics. It's part of the game, it's part of what we do. I mean, it doesn't mean that we wish him ill will or anything like that. I don't like his touchline antics. I'll bet there's loads of fans.
I like it better than Conte's touchline antics, because Conte's was just attention seeking.
Can I just let two people, so Chang, if you're still here, I wanted to tell you, you're going to get a preview before tomorrow's show. But for you, sir, you scored 7 points during this midweek's fixtures. You scored 7 points, Chang.
Wow.
And Destiny, I've got to find Destiny. Destiny, you scored 8 points this midweek. So well done, Destiny, and well done, Chang.
Same as Chris.
Yeah, I'm giving people their own personal scores as they appear on the chat. If they, it saves me repeating. Well, I'll repeat them all again tomorrow. But just so you know,
what was Spurs?
Sorry,
you didn't give Tot Spurs.
No, because he said he didn't want it. He said he knows he's done badly. He said he didn't want it. So I said, okay, fair enough.
Tot Spurs chicken out.
Yeah, what a wuss.
Put it this way, my gap's got bigger on Tot Spurs.
And you scored what? 6 points.
6, yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't he in front of? I was similar to Tot Spurs, wasn't I? He was the one that was I in front of him? Was he behind me, or what was that?
No, Tot Spurs is the only person that's behind me. We're before.
I'm sorry.
Before the points have been counted,
So the fix still is in then.
No.
Oh yeah, you could bet by the season's end, David. You can bet by the season's end, Jose's going to dock people point for breaking financial fair play and profit sustainable rules.
Oh my God!
they'll get relegated. You know, from second to bottom. You know what I mean? 50-point deduction.
I'm way off.
At the
I'm
moment,
so disconnected from the predictions.
No, well, at the moment, there's actually now. I think it's gonna break because Adrian's gonna break into the hundreds now as well. So Adrian will become the 14th player to get into 100 points.
Which gets me 16th.
No, you're 14th. You're 14th at the moment, but I think that you've gone ahead of maybe some people that are one person who's in front of you. I think you might be ahead of. I haven't done the tables yet, but you scored 11 points. That takes you to 110.
Well, I missed a week.
Sorry,
I missed a week when you were doing the lower leagues because I don't know enough to predict.
Look, I've got Danny's here.
See what I did this. I changed my tactics, Jose. Right.
Big round of applause for Danny.
What they did prior to the World Cup. So I've got a octopus and a fish tank, and I ask it the scores, and it moves its tentacles. 2-1, 2-0, draw, whatever.
Very smart.
BS. England in the World Cup. And...
You've got an octopus in a fish tank. It sounds like a Beatles song that they didn't release.
Yeah. When they weren't on
drugs. Is there a SpongeBob there too?
They weren't on drugs.
I'm trying to find Danny to tell him what he got because he came out of retirement again, didn't he? Danny has scored 5 points this week. So Danny, you've had a good week, mate. You've got another 5 points.
Well done.
Chan is saying, yes, I'm still very much here in the chat. I'm watching the show live from work. Any announcement for the live watch along for Notts Forest this coming Sunday? Dying to make up for missing the West Ham. Yeah, well, I'll be doing a watch along again on Sunday, Chang. It's going to be on Hotel Cockerel. So yeah, you're more than welcome to come on and we can do it. And if Mr. Shear is forced to leave after 9 a.m. local Aussie time, I'm more than prepared to help take over in his stead if you need to make up the numbers on the panel show. To everyone else, come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, I'll be leaving in a minute because I've got to get up in 4 hours.
Oh, yeah, we're not going on much longer, Chan.
I'll leave. Right. I could leave suddenly because I've got a mate coming around.
Okay.
Old mate that comes around.
Do you know what we've been going?
Don't let him drink your beer.
We've been going.
No, heck no, Adrian.
Right.
Not with the tax we pay, Cover.
Right, so what I will say, I am going to call it a day because it's getting late here, and it's 2 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock in the morning for Chris. 2 for me
How
and
many
Adrian.
likes have we got?
I don't know.
And subs, more importantly.
I don't know. I've not looked. Kuva is here, so I'm just going to tell Kuva this week. Kuva scored. I've got to find Kuva's scores now. Kuva this week has scored 3 points.
Well done, Kuva.
Well done.
Hat trick. Got the hat trick up. You go away the match ball.
But Kuva,
I got more than Kuva. Oh my God.
Kuva's gone, but Kuva's shot. He's only just started, but he's jumped about 30 places already from when he started.
Kuva's a quiet achiever.
Yeah.
Kuva is better than Man United.
But listen, guys, I'm gonna say thank you to the three of you for coming on.
No problem.
It's awesome. It's great to be back. I'll just say I had a bad fall at home. Everyone that's wondering, and I've been coming back and suffering from a bit of mental health and that. And Jose and Chris and everyone, Ali have been they've been in my corner, and I'm just going through a bit of difficult stuff. And I tend to isolate myself when I go through that. So anyone that's feeling as if they're alone in thinking like that, they're not. There's a lot of people that suffer silently.
Yeah, it's therapeutic.
Big up to the community, and love yous all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
man.
David. Yeah,
and just because you don't sometimes see me, and it's like Jacob and that, it's not because I'm snubbing yous or anything.
Okay.
Oh, no, I've been speaking to you offline, and we've been ringing each other on camera and all sorts. So I'm fully aware of what was going on, but it's not my place to tell people. So
that's fine. That's why I thought I'd bring it up, because we don't talk about it enough. And just know that yous are all very valued,
Thank you. And so are you, David.
Yeah.
So are you, as can be
You
seen
too,
by
man.
the comments that are always put in the chat about you, sir. So well done.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
But
Bobby, big shout out to Bobby Kay and Coos. I've been saying good day, and Mia and Kate and Timbo, everyone. You're just a great community, and
but it's
love
good. I'm great. I'm really happy that you came onto the stream today and that you were with us today. It was good to see you on there, especially with your talking ball merch and everything, and the trains going in the background with the hooters going off and everything.
Yeah, oh, crazy. Welcome to Esperance. Welcome to the country.
So thank you very much, David. Adrian, thank you very much for coming on tonight, mate.
Between you three are the oracles of Spurs football. You're unbelievable. The three of you. You're just
there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people within the fan base.
It's very hard to keep up with everything, and like most of what you go for, you know, is going to be BS. But you know, I spend, like I say, I spend a couple of hours updating my little group and all that, and I'm forever going around all the news feeds and all that. And I know a lot of it's going to be rubbish, but you have to take if it's be discussed or come up, you know.
We don't get enough. We don't get enough news without the internet. We'd be buggered here in Australia. So.
I forgot Ronnie's in the chat. Ronnie, you got 9 points this week, mate. So you're one of the ones up a bit higher up with the points. You got 9 points, Ronnie. But all will be revealed tomorrow. It's only because some of you are here that I'm letting you know now, because I've not updated anything. I've got 60 sets of predictions to update for tomorrow for the tables and that. So it's going to take me a few hours. So I'll do that all tomorrow morning in preparation for the show tomorrow afternoon. But Adrian, can you let everyone know where you can be found, mate? Because you've got a big following for people that have got Facebook. You've got a big following, Adrian. If
people are interested or use Facebook, you'll find me on Spurs Diehards TDID. Just type that and you'll find it. Or I'm at Adrian_Schroker on X, Twitter, whatever they call it now. I think it'll eventually be called X, won't it? But after Elon Musk, but yeah.
So thank you very much, Adrian, for coming on.
No problem.
It's been superb having you. And Chrissy boy, where can you be found? And when are you going to be doing your stuff, brother?
Oh, Meta Football TV. Possibly, probably, most likely mid-April. So not long to go. Back with the channel after the forced hiatus through personal family reasons that most people know about, and my studies becoming a coach that I have passed. So dedicate that to my late mother that passed away in December. And mental health is also very close to me. David, if you don't know, and for those who are still listening and here.
Oh, Chris, happy to see you, mate.
Yeah. So yeah, I hear you and I feel you as well. So yeah. I don't want to break down again as I did on the channel all those months ago. So I'll leave it there. Just want to say thank you,
I've got
Jose,
a very
for
sick mother that I'm going through. It's not easy at all. Yeah.
So big up.
Very courageous.
Thank you, Jose, for all the opportunities that you give me and your endless friendship. So thank you.
Yeah, you're more than welcome, mate. And there's the channel's been plugged again by Tot Spurs, so well done, Tot Spurs. Scott M, just to let you know, Scott M says if it makes it easier for you, I'm letting you know now. I've got them all exactly right, so just mark them down. No need to check. Scotty M, you scored. Scotty M only predicted half the week because he missed the first half set of games, but Scotty M still walked away with 3 points and only predicted half the week. So done well there. Destiny's coming in saying big Jose for the hard work he puts in for the prediction, even though it's fixed.
I agree.
I even announced all my scores.
Little Minefield, Jose down.
Destiny, mate, don't worry. At the end of the season, we'll get forensics in on this, right? We'll sort this. We'll sort this out.
We'll do an FXP investigation.
You got some congrats going your way, Chris. Listen,
Yeah.
everybody, I've loved having everybody in the chat. I've loved the people that we've had on the show as well. It's fantastic. It was a great stream, one that was needed. I needed to get a long one out of the way. We've done that, got it out of the way tonight. Thank you for everyone that's come in and watched us, heard us and stuff. And yeah, tomorrow, 4 o'clock, if you're not aware, 4 o'clock, come over to Elton at 4 o'clock tomorrow. It'll be predictions. So I'll be doing the reveal for the midweek scores, and then we'll do the predictions for this weekend. It's quite a...
Is that midnight, Jose?
Sorry?
Midnight my time?
4 o'clock would be... You're 7 hours in front, aren't you, at the moment?
What's the time now? Because you had to change.
Yeah, you 9/11 now.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're 9/11, it'd be 11 o'clock in the evening for you. So
that's all right. I'll be able to make it.
But there we go. So tomorrow I'll do the reveal, and then we'll do the predictions for this weekend. We've got 7 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. We finished the weekend with the mighty Tottenham playing against Forest. Come on, you Spurs. Let's get them 3 points. And in Ange, we trust.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
And with that, we shall play out with a Madison song, if I can find it. Here we go.
My team has got James Madison. James Madison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Madison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe. Whoa.